Hello, hello. Okay, we are on. Let's start this. First, let me get this here. Pop out chat. Pop out chat OP. Alright. Now we will shall continue this episode. This was after the first day. Trial day. So how do you think the trial went this morning? How do you think it went? It got a bit crazy in there. I just wonder if that killed our chances. Yeah, I guess it did get out of hand. Mr. Kudo's testimony did nothing to help us. Yeah, that old man was barely remembering anything. Plus, now we don't even know the identity of the waitress who laced the coffee. All we know is what old Mr. Kudo saw, the apron straps and the ribbon. And that the victim was wearing an earpiece when his eardrum was ruptured. Kinda sussy. Talk about a terrifying case of contradictionitis. Time to play doctor and find ourselves a cure then, huh, bruh? Yeah, we've got to find one for Maggie or she's going to have a terminal case of guilty. What is this? Well, I'm officially at a loss as to where to start. Yeah, me too. Let's try some brainstorming. You go first. I guess we should try to put Mr. Kudo's testimony to some sort of use. Yeah, that's true. And we need to figure out the identity of the waitress and who the victim really was. Somehow I think the key to this case has got to be at Très Bien. Well then, let's go back there and check it out again. Oh, and we should drop in on Maggie and see how she's doing too. So, anything on your mind? Actually, there's something. I was wondering about Jinyof. You know, like what he's like and stuff. Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that guy. This is the guy that we saw before the trial. I had to beat you so hard it'll feel like you were smooching the express train. Phoenix Wright? You saying you, Phoenix Wright? Cause I'm Phoenix Wright, the one and only. Actually, I've learned a little something about my doppelganger. Huh? You did? What did you find out? Oh yeah, Maya was working at the restaurant when I ran into Don Fonione. Let's just say he was such a terrible version of me that I wanted to sue for defamation. What's that guy's story anyway? What does he have to gain by impersonating me? Well, let's start moving. Looks like Gumshoe's not here. Never mind that. What's going on? It feels different in here somehow. You think? Yeah, everyone seems to be on edge. What are you doing? Call in the officers for the briefing, quick! Can't you shut down the station's server? Chief, quit playing on the internet! But my email pen pal, 1337AZ and... Princess? Save it for later! I'm turning it off now! No! 1337 Asian Princess! Everyone's keeping busy in here, huh? Keeping busy? More like panicking if you ask me. Something's going on. Something big. Brother. Asian Princess? What? What? I guess Maggie's still in questioning. But we've got questions to ask her too! Maggie! Maggie! Keep it down! This isn't a playground, you know. Bro. Très bien. We're at Très bien. Empty, as usual. Yeah, and it's lunchtime too. That's it. Come on, come on, come on! Hey, that sounds like... Now just call an 8, pal. Come on, I know you can. He's getting really worked up about something. No, that's the wrong number. Arg! Looks like an 8 would have only netted me $5 anyway. What a ripoff. What's the problem, Detective Gumshoe? This man has a lottery ticket. Huh? Oh, it's you. I was, I was just, I was just listening to the radio. To the radio? Hey, Detective Gumshoe's having lunch here. He is. And he's having the twin tea set. Ha ha ha. What can I say? How can he afford that? It was like 20 bucks for that twin tea set. This is a nightmare. How am I supposed to look Maggie in the eye now? You really drove her into a corner, you know. You always blow apart my testimony. Why of all days didn't you do it today? Sorry, there just weren't any holes in it, for once. Yeah, what happened? Usually your testimonies are like Swiss cheese. Swiss cheese? Would he have preferred crumbly like aged Parmesan? Anyway, this case has already been ruled on. There shouldn't be any holes left to find. So, did Maggie say anything to you? About me, I mean? Well, how did she put it again? I can't believe Detective Gumshoe. I hate him, sir. I mean it. I don't ever want to see him again. Oh, that's a bro moment. Something like that. What? What? This man is flabbergasted. Oh, please, Detective Gumshoe. I didn't mean... Why? Why is this happening? He's banging his head against the wall. Oh, man. Poor Gumshoe. Wow. This man's going through it. So, did you like the twin tea set? I've never paid that much money for lunch before. I was so nervous, my hands were shaking. So, how did it taste? Well, for 20 bucks, I guess. I don't know how to describe it, really. It was delicate. Delicate? You mean you liked it? It didn't taste bad to you? What's the matter with him? Looks like he's thinking. That's it. I've been trying to think of the right word to describe the taste. And I just realized. It's bad. That's it. It tasted bad. It's just kind of hard to admit it to yourself when you paid 20 bucks for it, you know? Maybe you should have found out about the price after he had finished tasting. Or eating. Hey Nick, maybe that's why Glen Elk came here. Maybe he heard about the super fierce twin tea set. If by fierce you mean fearsome. Speaking of Glen Elk, that reminds me. We still hardly know anything about the guy. Why don't we ask Detective Gumshoe what he knows, seeing as he's here? The radio. So what were you all excited about earlier? Huh? That's right. You said you were listening to the radio or something. Oh, that? That was nothing. I wasn't excited. Come on, Detective Gumshoe. You can tell little old me. What were you listening to? Nothing, really. It was just the, daily exercise show. Bro, this man's lying! What the? A psyche lock? Ha ha ha. This lunch special's lobster sure is great. Then why are there tears in your eyes? Bro, this man's crying. Well, let's present the profile so we can learn more about this guy. This guy was a real programming genius. They called him the walking computer at the place where he worked. What happens? What happens when he crashes though? Does he just stop moving all of a sudden? He wasn't literally a computer. Anyway, there's nothing between Maggie and the victim. Yeah, that's what we found out yesterday too. Hey, Detective Gumshoe, don't you have any information that's a bit more fun? Fun? Oh, I know. So have you paid a visit to where Mr. Elk worked yet? You might as well. His workplace? Where's that? A computer firm called Blue Screens Inc. Or something like that. Sounds like a real stable company. This could be fun, Nick. Let's go! Computers aren't really my thing, Maya. We'll be fine. I know all about that high-tech stuff. I wonder about that. It's just around the corner from this joint. You should take a look. A computer firm called Blue Screens Inc., huh? Okay, but first, let's see if we can break this psyche lock. His one psyche lock. The radio! Alright, Detective Gumshoe, tell me the truth. What were you listening to? No way, pal. Now that you've made a big thing out of it, I'm not gonna tell you. We'll see about that, pal. Considering all the noise you were making while you were listening, It's pretty clear what kind of radio program it was. I'd say it was related to the lottery ticket. Nonetheless, I'm right, aren't I? You were listening to the lottery results, weren't you? You thought you'd try to win big, just like Glen Elg did. It, it's it's like you could see right through me. Bruh. Huh? I've cracked him already. See, pal? That's why I said it was nothing. Well, we did it. I'm usually pretty lucky, so I figure I'd give it a try. What's with everyone in the lottery? So, how did it go? I won 50 cents. It'd be better to win nothing at all than half a lousy buck. I was so mad. Yeah, I know the feeling. I bought the same kind of ticket as Mr. Elk, see? And they've got this special radio show where they announce the winning numbers. They even do the drawings live on the air. It's intense. I bet that's what Mr. Elk was listening to on the day he was killed. Yeah. What time is it now? It's just after 1:30. And are the lottery results always broadcast at the same time? Yeah. Look, I got this flyer when I bought the ticket. Millionaire radio? That sounds cool. I want to try it, Nick. Then buy a ticket, Maya, with your own money. Okay, so, hold up. Okay, time of death was between 1:30 and 2:30, but the broadcast is always at 1:30. Interesting. Oh, we could go here now. But first, let's go here. Oh, the scooter's here. I don't see any sign of Mr. Kudo. Do you? Maybe he went to buy another ton of bird seeds. I was kind of hoping he wouldn't be here anyway, at least not for now. Besides, any more seeds today and I'm liable to turn into a real phoenix. Scooter. Hey, check this out. I wouldn't get too close to that if I were you, otherwise you might be in for a shock. My phony must be lurking someplace nearby. Just imagine, a tiger, loose in the city. Meanwhile, the real phoenix is like an abandoned chicken, lost in a vast urban jungle. Huh? Don't worry, someday you'll grow up and become a ferocious tiger too. Don't lose hope. Why is she trying to pep talk me into becoming my phony? Good question. Okay, let's move back. Oops. Let's go to the blue screens. What the? Who are these people? I've never seen these people before. I think this is an addition to the new game, because I don't remember seeing these people. Wow, this place is so high-tech. You can almost smell the electricity in the air. It is a computer firm, Maya. They can't work without electricity, you know. Who are you? Oh, hello. I'm sorry. Access is restricted to authorized personnel only. I like the suit. I like the lights on the suit. That's pretty cool. This is a computer programming laboratory. She probably speaks like a robot. There are far too many trade secrets that could be leaked. Wow, what secrets? Everything you see here is classified. No information can leave this building. Understood. Who is this woman? She's like a robot from some kind of whacked educational show. My name is Lisa Basil. See, okay, this is exactly like the other name, Glen Elg. It's just the same thing backwards. Lisa Basil. It's just the same thing backwards. I'm the company director. Director? She's human? She seems more like a ghost in a shell. And that thing over her eye, isn't that the same device as Glen Elg's? That's a DMH, right? Nice try, but it's the other way around, Maya. It's an HMD. All of my programmers here at Blue Screen Inc. are supplied with HMDs. Then do you write programs too? No, I just enjoy wearing this. Bruh. They are pretty cool. I wouldn't mind one. So, what exactly is this firm's business? I will try to simplify it so that you can understand. We analyze the data management systems required by certain branches of industry, and then deliver optimum operating systems and source-level components to them. Huh? You lost me on the corner of analyze and management. It doesn't matter. They analyze stuff. You got that much, right? The software we produce is distributed on CDs. CDs? Yes. Compact compact disc. Digital optical storage media. Of course, CDs are used for software as well as music. It is a small firm, but all of my employees are first-class programmers. Let's ask one of them what they are doing. Excuse me, what are you working on right now? Oh, I didn't read it. On logical access to obviously programmer social influence response time and performance so the variables and memory overheads is literally important to the success of the execution. Well, you get the idea. This is the sort of thing we are involved in. Did you good people follow all of that? Yeah. Your blank smile just said otherwise, Maya. You know about what happened, right, Miss Basil? You mean about Glenn being poisoned? Yes, I know. It's terrible. Can you tell us anything that might be helpful? I don't think so. A police officer was here earlier, too. But I couldn't tell him anything either, because the waitress who committed the crime has nothing to do with Blue Screens Inc. Oh. How about Mr. Elk's desk? Have you cleared it out already? No, not yet. It's this one right in front of you. If there's anything that might be useful to you, you are welcome to take it. I guess there might be a clue here somewhere. Let's examine it. Looks like a lot of lottery tickets. Whoa! Look at this desk, Nick. What a mess. Looks pretty average to me. But you can't get any work done with everything all over the place like this. You think? Real whiz kids can work under any condition, you know. She's trying to hint that I should tidy my desk more. I'll clean up my desk when Maya stops asking silly questions. No hurry then. Hey, this calendar. What about it? This is another hint about tidying, you can forget it. Someone's marked December 3rd in red pen. December 3rd? That's the day Mr. Elk was murdered. Is there anything else? Yeah. It says meet with the tiger. The T-Tiger? Wow, look at this mess. Looks like they're all betting tickets. What kind of betting tickets? Or what kind of betting tickets? For betting on which horse will win a given race. The horse racing tickets. Oh, wow. His drawers are stuffed full of these. Looks like they're all losing tickets though. Horse racing betting tickets found in Glen Elk's desk. There's over 500 of them. How do you know? Did you count them all? This many tickets would get you, what, a buck down at the recycling center? But I didn't know you were so hard up that you'd try to profit from the dead, Nick. I'm just taking them as evidence, Maya. That's crazy. Can we present anything to this woman? For more dialogue? Maybe this? Nope. Focus on asking about Glen Elk. So maybe we present his profile. About Mr. Elk. He was a top programmer. I would even say he was a genius. But he did suffer from one or two bugs in his personality. Oh? Like what? He was a bit of a loser. Perhaps that would be the best way to describe it. That's what got him into trouble. What's the matter? He was a top programmer. I would even say he was a genius. So he was really no trouble at all. A model employee. Hey, wait a minute. Just now you said something about him being in trouble. We've got to find out what this trouble was exactly. Obviously, he had no money. Or maybe we present this, because he got in a fight, right? Oh, no. Hurry, this dialogue is so long. We get it. Wait, is there more dialogue? Oh, Glenn's troubles. Okay, here we go. About Mr. Elk. Was he in some kind of trouble? I'm sorry. Why would you think that? I thought you said something about it just now. You said he got himself into trouble because he was a bit of a loser. Bro, psyche locks. There's a lot of them. There's 3. 3 psyche lock? I guess Mr. Elk is like every other man with his own pile of secrets. Okay, maybe we try to break it. Let's try, I guess. We must find out Glenn's trouble. So, how about you tell me what kind of trouble Mr. Elk was in? I'm sorry, sir, but we don't deal with troubleshooting here. Perhaps you'd like to speak to someone in customer service. What's she talking about? I guess I'd better just take a shot and see where it gets me. Miss Basil, let me ask you something. Did Mr. Elk's trouble have something to do with this? Okay, it could be a lot of things. It could be his losing horse race tickets. It could be this. Nope. Answer the man's query. Oh my gosh. Let's input another question. Did it have to do with the losing horse tickets? Probably. Yep. I should have just guessed this one from the start. What is that? A bunch of horse racing tickets, all losing ones. With that many tickets, you could get $1 at the recycling center. You good people are very, very bad. Cashing in on others' misfortunes is immoral. Is that a whiff of hypocrisy I smell? But what is the relevance of these tickets? The victim, Mr. Glenn Elk. He had a gambling habit, didn't he? I don't think that's a logical conclusion based on the facts. Everyone likes to go to the races from time to time. Yeah, but not everyone buys this many tickets. Over 500 of them. Anyway, I don't believe that proves anything on its own. You're right, but I'm not through yet. Mr. Elk's gambling wasn't restricted to horse races. Horse races, was it? Also this, right? Yeah. The lottery, horse racing, he bought a lot of tickets and lost a lot of times. That's gotta have hurt his wallet pretty bad, don't you think? Oh, she's sweating bullets. Maybe bad enough to be the cause of some pretty serious trouble, perhaps? No! You are right. Glenn did have a gambling habit. You good people must not follow his example. Do you understand? Trust me, even if I wanted to, I don't exactly have the money to buy any. But if you win, there's no problem, is there? And Glenn had a winning ticket, didn't he? For $500,000. Yeah, but it's hard to imagine how he could have been in trouble then, isn't it? It's true that Mr. Elk won $500,000 in the end, but that was his first stroke of good luck. He was in deep trouble before that. Deep trouble? What do you mean? Mr. Elk's real problem was with someone or something more terrifying and ferocious. Okay, I think it's this, because it says meet with a tiger. Mr. Elk met with someone on the day he was killed. He even made a note on this calendar about the meeting. Meet with the tiger. What is the relevance of that? Are you trying to suggest Glenn was meeting him to discuss his debt? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. But I have never heard about anything about this tiger before. Maybe he's not even human. Maybe he really is a tiger. I'm no programmer, but does she really expect me to buy such messed up logic? In that case, I think it's time to introduce you to the tiger. Do I have a profile? Okay, I don't think I have enough evidence. Yeah. I need to find out more about the tiger. Let's go to the kitchen. We didn't even go to the kitchen. Huh? Mr. Armstrong's talking to someone. I'll be back next month. Alright. Okay, I am back, I am back. Alright, so I'll be back next month. Oui, naturalmente. Naturalmente. I will be waiting for you. If you haven't got it by then, I'm afraid it might get a little hot around here. On, I will have everything ready, I promise. I love fire, you know. I love the way it crackles. Hee hee hee. Oh no, no, stop it, I beg you. Then don't let me down. I'll be watching you. Is this the spicy you're talking about, or uh, not this case? I mean, it does get interesting. All the cases are like sort of interesting, but the next case is like really, really interesting, in my opinion. All right. Nice, none. This is not necessary. You can trust me, mademoiselle. Talk to anyone and I'll drive a knife right through your heart. Oh my gosh. Oh no, you do not have to worry. You know you worry far too much. I kind of don't know if I'm doing a Italian or French accent. Maybe this will help you relax. It is the oil of sandalwood. I do love raw meat from time to time. Hee hee hee. Ah, I'll be taking my leave. Goodbye. For now. Well, that looks like a lot of threats. Ugh, I have the shivers. I must rub some of my oil all over my body before I become the nervous wreck. There. Oh, oui, oui. That feels good. Ugh. Oh la la, excusez-moi, monsieur. My eyes! My eyes! This man is. Your eyes? If you have trouble with your eyes, you need this. The oil of sandalwood. Isn't this just the leftovers of what you were just using? Bro. My eyes. You don't exactly have many customers, do you, Mr. Armstrong? This music, though, I really like this music. No, you are right, monsieur. But perhaps that is the perfect time for you to visit me, non? That way I can give you my undivided attention and cook for you la dish supreme. Putting on a brave face, huh? That's what girls do, Nick. But you are right. Business is very difficult these days. Perhaps the name is a problem. People do not understand it. They think it is Trey. I thought it was Trey. I just wanted people to think that my restaurant was exclusive. But they think you just serve fast food on cheap plastic trays? Nick, that's the kind of thing that can make a girl cry. Have you forgotten that Mr. Armstrong is a man, Maya? But this restaurant is my life. It is everything to me. I will defend it to la finale. No one will take it from me. Bruh. So, who was that woman you were just talking to? Oh la la, you saw that? Well, yes. Sorry. So, who was she? She looked so polite and graceful. Polite? Graceful? And she likes raw meat and fires, right? I'll be back next month. We just saw this. Like a flashback? Oui, naturalmente, I'll be waiting for you. If you haven't got it by then, I'm afraid it might get a little hot around here. No! We just saw that. Now that I think about it. Hey, Maya, I think it's pretty clear what kind of conversation they were having. You think so? Well then let's show them that piece of evidence and see what happens. What piece of evidence? Which one? Dun 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 dun. This one? No. Dun 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 dun. This one? Uh-oh. What is it? Is this your scooter? No, no, I saw it before in Vitamin Square, you see. Mon Dieu, non, 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 take it away. Do not show that to me. Talk about an allergic reaction. Did that open dialogue? No. What do we need to show to this man? Yes, man. He's a man. This? No, I already did this. Oh, this. Surely. So long as that paper exists, I am but a delightful angel with the broken wings. An angel? An angel, huh? Doesn't bode well when you think about it. Oui, they kept harassing me month after month. In the end, I had to give in. I agreed to help them. Help them? With what? My bien sûr, if I did not owe them the money, I would have refused. But my hands were tied. Please, what did you agree to help them with? None. I cannot say. If I tell you, that woman, she will slice me up and eat me with la salad garnish. Ew, I hope he doesn't mean that he'll literally be sliced up and served with garnish. I'm gonna guess that woman has something to do with your loan contract. Am I right? Ah! Please, Mr. Armstrong, tell us about that woman! Okay, finally. I think we... Yes. The woman who was here earlier. I take it that she's, Why has it come to this? What a tragedy! Suddenly I find myself so deep in la debt, it is a sign of the bad, bad world we live in. Oh. No, I'd say it's more of a sign of the bad, bad culinary skills. The woman who was the scary woman, she is from la loan office. Loan office? Is that where you borrowed $500,000 from? Oui. Tender lender, it is called. Catchy name. Just hearing it makes me want to borrow some money. Please, you must not borrow from them. If you must, no more than $10. $10? Sounds like your whole monthly stipend, Maya. Hey, I get a bit more than that. Thank you very much. So Tenderlender is the loan office you borrowed $500,000 from, huh? I wonder if they've got anything to do with this case. I am a weak woman. When I am upset, I have to buy something nice to cheer me up. Thanks to him loaning me thanks to him loaning me la money loaning me la money, I have to pay back $500,000 now. I'm like a slave. I have to do everything that he tells me. Who's this he? The tiger. The tiger? Oui, he's the manager of this Tenderlender. A terrifying man, the big city mobster. When he shouts at me, my knees are trembling and his voice is ringing in my ears for 3 days. As soon as I hear the noise of that battered old scooter he rides, I start to cry. A big city mobster who rides a battered old scooter? Does this guy resemble me by any chance? Oh, no, no, no. This man has a presence, a most formidable personality. Although, oui, it does have a spiky air, just like you. Oui, there is a resemblance there, I suppose. Sounds like this loan office is worth checking out after all. If you want to visit the Tenderlender, it is just beyond Vitamin Square. Hey Nick, if you need money, I can loan you some, as long as it's less than $3. Thanks for the offer. Just beyond Vitamin Square, huh? Bruh. Well, I'm gonna head back to the precinct now. We've got a big meeting starting in a bit. About Maggie's case, you mean? No, that's pretty much wrapped up now. There's another big case going down at the moment, so she's been pushed aside. Okay, well, see you later then. Bye. He came back. You better get going, detective, or you'll be late. Actually, I've kind of got a favor to ask. It's a big one. A favor? Yeah, it's for, Maggie, actually. I was kind of hoping you'd give this to her for me. What is it? It's a lunchbox. I got up early so I could make it. I've been real worried about her. She looked like she'd lost a lot of weight. Detective Gumshoe. How many weenies are in here? There's not a person on earth who could down this much meat. You think? I love weenies. I can't get enough of their tender juiciness. So will you give it to her? It took me ages to make, so please you say you will, pal. I can't exactly say no, can I? Gumshoe's lunchbox given to Maya to carry. Maybe I'll eat it myself if I get hungry. Don't forget, okay? I'm counting on you to give that to Maggie. He's finally gone. Well, maybe we could give it to her now? No, she's not even here. Okay, let's go to Vitamin Square. And go to the Tenderlender. This place gives off a really strange vibe, doesn't it? Looks like the tiger isn't in his lair. And that is, as they say, a very good thing. Welcome. Gulp. Talk about a creepy voice. It makes your soul want to shrivel up and die. Oh, it's a lady. Should I make like a creepy voice? You're here to discuss alone? No, not exactly. The manager is away at the moment. Wait quietly, please. It's kind of like the robot voice. I'll just do my regular voice. She's gone. Just like that. I guess we'll just have to come back another time. But this is the perfect opportunity, Nick. This place reeks of suspicion. Come on, Nick. Let's take a look around, okay? Do you think it'd be okay? Of course. No one will ever know. Coffee? I'll leave it here for you to enjoy. Quietly. Yes, thank you. Do not touch the desk, please. Nick, let's get out of here. Now she wants to get out of here? Well, we're snooping around, but... There's a CD player on the desk, but the desk is so loud, it's a wonder... But the desk is so loud, it's a wonder you can hear it. How's the desk loud? The lid's open. I wonder what kind of music the tiger's into. Have you finished the coffee? Bro, she's back. Yes, thanks. It was lovely. So, you drank it all? Hee hee hee. Gulp. If you touch anything else that doesn't belong to you, there's always another cup. Bro. Like that coffee. It was laced with something. I'm almost sure of it. Nick, my stomach. It's killing me. Oh, wait. Maybe it was just the burger I ate for breakfast. I sure hope so. We better take a look at that CD while we're still alive and have the chance. What the? What? It's not the Rocco soundtrack, is it? Claw of the Tiger? Claw of the Tiger. It's a demo disc. The artist's name has been handwritten on the disc in pen. MC Bomber. What? This must be the CD Maggie told us about. Let's listen to it. I bet it's heavy metal. No way. That woman will make us drink more coffee if we do. Well, we added it to the chord record. Okay. Why is this on the floor? Oh no, someone's dropped the ashtray on the floor. That's going to be a nightmare to clean up. Yeah, it's all over the rug and everything. I accidentally knocked over a really big space heater once. Cleaning up was such a pain. It was one of those super antiques where you have to burn a ton of charcoal. How did you manage to knock one of those over? Aren't they supposed to be super heavy? Oh hey, there's a book of matches here too. Matches, huh? Places don't give those out much nowadays. Hey, wait a second. What is it? Look what's printed on its cover. It says Très bien. Matches used for advertising found lying in a tender lender. These matches could come in handy. We might be able to use them. Yeah, the pilot light for the office boiler keeps going out. Swing and a miss, Maya. Swing and a miss. Well, she tried. Hey, look at this. Parisian style coat. It's so chic. Looks more like a pimp coat to me. Guess I haven't got an eye for fashion. Hey, look at this. This suit is the same color as the one you wear, Nick. The same color as my suit? Ah! Keep your voice down, Maya. Nick, you've got to take a look at this. Some cake? Ah! I'll just leave it here for you. Yeah, sure. Thanks. Just wait here quietly. Otherwise... Sure. Did you hear that, Nick? Wait quietly, she said. Yeah, sure. I have my eye on you, only so I can take care of you. Understand? Bro, this woman is trying to kill us. I'm scared, Nick. So? What were you getting so excited about before? Look, on the lapel of the suit. That's an attorney's badge. Is the tiger a lawyer? No way, look at this thing, it's made of paper. Bro, paper badge, found at tender lender. This guy is the phony. This guy's the phony. For some reason your badge looks really cheap to me, Nick. Why doesn't anyone recognize an obviously fake badge when they see one? Oh my gosh. R. Come out from under the desk, Maya. What are you two snooping around my office for? Nothing. We were just... My precious carpet, you've got ash on my rug? You gonna wish your ugly feet never came through my door. It wasn't us. It was already like... Yous wanna argue with me? Is that what you doing? You think yous can take me on? I'm gonna find yous two into pancakes and turn yous into my new rugs. Oh, Dawn Tiger, you're back. That voice, it's like evil seeping into your head through your ears. I'm sorry, Dawn Tiger. I knocked over that ashtray earlier, and... Eek! Has she got a death wish, or what? Oh, right. Huh? Forget about it, Violetta. It's nothing. What? I ain't gonna get mad at you. You too cute, you hear? That's so unfair. Here, have some cookies. I just baked them. And you'll need some strong espresso while you're discussing your loan. MR! Phoenix Wright! Yes? You was either crazy or just plain stupid to chase after me. I worked so hard, but now you's gotta come and mess up my plan. So it was him. He's my phony. But I don't care. No one gets in my way. What? I mean, excuse me? You should have left the little girl at home, right? I have a few things I want to... Yeah. No questions. This is the last time we meet. Wait! Please! That was pretty weak, Nick. You waited until he was out of earshot before you shouted after him. Like you're one to talk. I didn't hear you scream, "Hold it," either. The espresso. And cookies. This woman is definitely not good for my heart. Now, what was it the tiger called her? Violetta? Oh no, I could talk to her. So, I'm kinda curious about your company, Tender Lender. With the warm and friendly atmosphere you'd expect from a family-sized business, a conscientious rate of interest, and an attractive repayment policy. Why do I get the feeling the sentence is not going to end well? We will tenderly lend you that little bit extra here at Tender Lender. Hey Nick, things are a bit tight for Wright and Co. at the moment, aren't they? I mean, there's that $500 you owe me from our card game for starters. Why don't you take out a loan? Brett, would I like to take out a loan from a place like this? Not so much. Tender Lender is on your side. Hee hee hee. So, let's say I'm late with my repayment. What happens then? We'd give you more coffee. Strong coffee. Right. I think I'd rather skip town. Hey, just remember, you can make some strong coffee too, Nick. Strong tea as well. So, do you know about the incident we're investigating? What incident? Well, a man was poisoned in a restaurant just near here. That incident. Let me see. I was here that day with the manager. The manager being the tiger? Furio Tiger. Furio? Tiger? So that's where the tiger thing comes from. Jinyo's got a real name. Nick, hurry up and find out more about him. Might as well... Do we have his profile? Yes, we do. He's 42? Can I ask you about the tiger? I mean, Mr. Tiger? Cookie? Sure? How do you like my cookies? I baked them myself. Hee hee hee. Go ahead, Nick. The honor is all yours. No, no. Ladies first, Maya. Hee hee hee. No matter how I look at this, I just don't get it. What are the tiger and the scary girl doing working together? We are lovers. That's not exactly coming across in your tone of voice. And I owe Don Tiger my life. He's the one who saved me. The tiger saved you? Please, address him properly as Don Tiger. Otherwise, I'll have to... Okay, Don Tiger, of course, I'm sorry. He saved her life? I'm sure I'd like to know how that happened. I'm very frail, you see. Just recently I died. Once. Hee hee. You died? About 4 months ago. The doctor said to abandon all hope. I guess they were expecting her to take a boat ride across the river Styx. But Don Tiger, he saved me. He gave up everything. Everything? When I found out what he had done for me, I was happy. No offense, but I'm finding that a little hard to believe. I decided I'd pay him back, with my life, by serving him coffee and espresso. I still wonder about what's in her coffee. So, is that why you've got that bandage around your head? Hee hee hee. This? So what's the story with the bandage? They put it on after the operation. Operation? It's just a little injury. A little fatal injury. Hee hee hee. A fatal injury? Maya just suffered one herself, by the sound of it. So that's the injury you were talking about before when you said you had died once? Four. Berg, she really creeps me out, Nick. Same here, but we've got to find out the truth. Okay, I don't know if we... Maybe we try moving somewhere else first. Oh. There he is! Old Seedy's back feeding the pigeons again. There! Take this! And this! And get out of my park! Like I thought, he's really mad. Come on, Maya. Just keep your head down and sneak away while we still can. What? Why? Hello, old man. What are you doing, Maya? Huh? Yeah. Hey, he just turned his back on us. I'm not surprised. I bet I really hurt his pride in court this morning. Hey, Mr. Kudo. Pigeon. Look, we really need to talk to you, alright? Out with the demons! In with good fortune! Ow, ow, ow! Seeds, shell splinters. Painful. I always knew you were a demon, Maya. Bruh. I'm sorry about what happened in court earlier today. Gah. Everyone will be talking about me behind my back now. A dirty old man who was so busy looking at the servant girl's backside that he can't remember her face. A filthy, depraved animal. Not at all. Are you listening to me, boy? I don't care what you say. I saw that waitress put it in. She put some white powder into that young lad's Javachino. We hear you. And another thing. The young layabout was wearing an earpiece. On the same side as the lens of his broken spectacles. We're really sorry. So I made a little mistake about the vase. So what? I know what I saw. I tell you, I tell you, I tell you! Okay, okay, take it easy, please, Mr. Kudo. Don't tell me to take it easy, you spiky-haired brat. Take this! Embroidery. You said you were a craftsman, right? Yeah. The modern world casts honest craftsmen like me aside in droves. Surely it's not that. I come from a long line of craftsmen, right back to the time of the shoguns. Do you hear me? I didn't become an embroiderer, I was born one. Actually, I'm kind of in the same situation myself. I wanted to stick my fingers up that dribbling old judge's nose and scream right down his ear hole, "Objection!" Oh, so did you want to become a lawyer when you were young? I don't think that's quite it, Maya. I think he's just in a bad mood, that's all. I've got a tsunami of frustration inside and it's ready to burst out. If we let him start rambling now, we might never shut him up. What should I do? I'll just suck it up. Guess I better let him talk. So there's not much call for a craftsman these days, then? Of course not, you idiot. All I'm good for nowadays is running errands. Errands? Everyone takes advantage of the elderly. Buy some bread, Gramps. Take the dog for a walk, Granddad. Feed the pigeons, old man. What am I, some sort of too big community handyman? Well... Buy some bread, now that I can understand. But what's the point of feeding some seedy pigeons? Why don't people say what they mean? Get lost, that's what they're trying to say. Oh yes, I'm just an inconvenience, you see. At home, at that restaurant, I just get in the way, don't I? I'm sure you don't. Wait a minute. What did you just say? At home and at that restaurant? Hold up. By restaurant, are you talking about Très Bien? Did you get asked to run an errand there too? Yes, I did. The very day that young brat was poisoned. What? The errand. So on the day of the incident, what were you asked to do? Glad you asked, boy, because I'll tell you what I was asked to do. All of a sudden, that young lad slumped over the table. The servant girl collapsed. And I broke that vase. It all happened so fast, I was in a bit of a daze, you see. Then the owner shouted over to me. Excusez-moi, you, call the police. Call them yourself, I should have said back, but I didn't think of it at the time. So, did you end up calling the police? Like I said, I was in a bit of a daze. Did you call them on your cell phone? Gah, do I look like I have one of those newfangled thingamajigs? I went out looking for a payphone, of course. You went looking for one? I couldn't find one right away, you know. Wandered around for 5 minutes or so. 5 minutes? So for 5 minutes after the incident happened, yes sirree, the owner was at Très Bien on his own. Why didn't you mention this in court this morning? Well, I would have if you'd given me the chance. But you all bullied me out of the courtroom. Thank you, Mr. Kudo. You've certainly earned your kudos for today. Wait a minute. If that's the case, there's more. I've got more to say. Oh yes, I remember something else. Bro. Bailiff! Escort the witness out of the courtroom. It's not my fault. You're the ones to blame. You could have at least told us before we got to court. Is it really that important that Mr. Kudo was the one who called the police? What's important is the unencountered time before the police arrived. The victim was dead, and Maggie was unconscious. Which leaves that woman, that man, alone in the restaurant. Mr. Kudo might have been chased out of the place on purpose. What do you mean? Maybe a certain someone didn't want him in the restaurant. Ah. Oh sure, you go ahead and say I was in the way as usual. I suppose I should have been getting myself covered in pigeon poop instead, We need to get more details about what exactly happened. From Maggie and from Mr. Armstrong. Alright. Let's go to Mr. Armstrong first. He's probably in the kitchen, right? Looks like Mr. Armstrong's out again. But the place is open for business. You can't have an open restaurant without a chef. Hey, it's not my fault, Nick. Don't take it out on me. Only a couple minutes after the incident happened, Mr. Kudo left the scene, leaving Mr. Armstrong here alone. Arg, missing when we need to talk to him the most. Maybe he's trying to avoid us on purpose? Bro. He's trying to avoid us. Let's go to Maggie? Okay. Oh, Mr. Wright. Hello, Maggie. So they finished questioning you? Wasn't it just unbelievable in court today, sir? I'm going to stay up all night and blog about everything that happened. Weren't you scared? It was pretty touch and go in there. Yeah, but you totally nailed that old man. Well, he was all over the place with his testimony. He's not the only one. Huh? What do you mean? Everyone else's testimonies don't match up either. Not with what I remember of the incident anyway. Is it possible she is the one misremembering things? Oh, first let's give. Do we have it? Oh, this, yeah. Oh yeah, I've got something you're gonna love. Really? What is it? A lunchbox, just for you. Here. Wow, a lunchbox. Weenies too. I can't believe it. Thank you, sir. Did you make this just for me, Mr. Wright? Nah, it was Detective Gumshoe. Who else would make such a nice lunchbox for you? Detective Gumshoe? He's really worried about you. Looks like he put a lot of effort in making this too. I can't accept it. Detention center rules. No gifts allowed, sir. Hey, come on, Maggie. Don't be like that. The rules are the rules. They'll lock you up if you break them. Somehow, when an ex-cop turned waitress says that, it seems a whole lot scarier. And anyway, I hate weenies. Oh, really? It's all yours, Maya. You can enjoy it with Mr. Wright. But... She's right. It's better than letting it go to waste. But... I guess so. Gumshoe's lunchbox eaten with Maya. Well, how was it? That hit the spot. I love weenies. Oh good. I'm glad I gave it to you then, sir. Damn. Unfortunate. Maggie, you know how you said that everyone else provided testimony that doesn't match up with what you remember? Yep. There are just so many things that don't seem to add up. The biggest contradiction is the other guy I saw at the victim's table. Totally doesn't look like the tiger. He was the one who slipped something into the victim's coffee. I'm sure it was him. But didn't Mr. Kudo testify earlier today that it was the waitress who put some white powder into the coffee cup? So you really think it was this disappearing man that did it? Well, he's not the only thing that disappeared. The CD vanished as well. You know, the CD with the writing on it? Oh yeah, the MC Screwdriver album, right? It was MC Bomber. That name was scrawled on the sports paper as well. They never did find that CD at the crime scene, sir. Or the victim's medication. That's gone missing too. Ouch, my head. This is getting way too complicated for me. You said that you passed out when the victim, Glenn Elg, collapsed, right? Yes, it's so embarrassing. I mean, I used to be a cop. When I came to, the restaurant was buzzing with police. And before I knew what was going on, they arrested me, sir. So between the time the victim collapsed and the time the police arrived at the scene, you have no idea what went on at Très Bien? No, no idea at all. Why? Is it important? The other witness, the old man from the park, was pretty much chased out of the picture. Chased out of the picture? What do you mean? Old Seedy wasn't inside the restaurant because he was told to go call the police. Exactly. And you, Maggie, were unconscious. That means Mr. Armstrong was alone in the restaurant for a brief period of time. No. You don't think Mr. Armstrong set me up, do you? When you consider the facts, it's hard to imagine that Mr. Armstrong isn't involved in this at all. Grr. It's like the master biting the paw of the dog that it feeds. Are you sure about this, Mr. Wright? Well, the old man said as much when we spoke with him earlier. I don't know. The things that man says don't add up for some reason. Maggie looks like she's trying to figure something out. Maybe we should ask Maggie exactly what she knows about Old Seedy. Present his profile? It feels like forever since I saw a witness as slippery as that old man. He's not really that bad of an old man, though. Still, I feel a bit uneasy. Huh? I thought you just said you felt much better. Maggie, if there's something on your mind, you've got to tell us. Especially if it has anything to do with Mr. Kudo or his testimony. Roger. I'll spill it all and see what you make of it. Alright. More dialogue? Is there anything about Mr. Kudo's testimony that stood out as odd to you? Actually, yes. The fact that he was even testifying to begin with doesn't quite... What? Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table... It's true there was another customer in the restaurant. Yeah, we know that already. It was Victor Kudo. But I can't really say it was an old man. Okay, then how about calling him a really old, middle-aged man? No, age isn't the issue. The other customer was... a woman. A woman? Are you sure, Maggie? Well, I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. So, what does this woman look like? She was sort of creepy, and she had a kind of cackling laugh. Creepy? Cackling? Why do I get the feeling I've come across a woman like that recently? Do we ever... Is it this woman? I know I used to be on the okay, no. Oops. What? Alright, I'm back. Brief pause. Okay, where were we? Victor's testimony. Okay, let's try seeing if Armstrong is back. Well, let's go here first. Yeah, what's going on here? The main server just went up in smoke! Why the heck isn't the press conference set up yet? The superintendent's here already. The superintendent's here already. Yeah, there's a problem with the internet too. I already told you to stop using your computer, Chief. But I'm watching videos online. I'm catching up on my Asian soap operas. It's gonna have to wait, Chief. I'm throwing with the switch. No! Just when some young guy was just when some young guy was about to confess to his son's hot to trot girlfriend. Wow, this place is really buzzing. Something must be going down. Something really big. Huh? What are you doing here, pal? Detective Gumshoe! You can't be here right now. You'll be roped into the briefing if you stay. Huh? We got big problems here today. Why? What's going on? It's a virus. A virus! A virus? There's a virus ripping through the precinct's computer system. But I really need to ask you some questions. Oh, let's try and talk with him. Okay, I'm only gonna say this once, so listen up. Yes? No matter how poor you get, never borrow money from a place like this, you hear? Okay. If you got money trouble, just go on a diet of instant noodles and hang in there. And hang in there. We're not thinking about borrowing money, Detective. We want information. Oh, is that all? Well, let's see. Tender lender is considered to be even fishier than the average illegal loan shark. And it seems it ran into trouble just recently. Those guys have been pretty heavy-handed, calling in all of their debts. Really? Don't go poking your nose around in their business, pal. You'll really regret it if you upset that lady. Alright, I get the picture. Hey, wait a minute. What did he just say? That lady? Who's this lady he's talking about, Nick? Oh, there's a mosquito flying by. I want to kill it so bad. Oh, I think I missed. No! Bah, never mind. Alright, we better find out what the story is with this lady. So what exactly is a computer virus, Detective Gumshoe? I don't know. What? Look, I just go with the flow, alright? Pal? And here I thought detectives were supposed to be somewhat knowledgeable. What's with that face, pal? You think you know what a virus is? Well, Nick, do you? A computer virus? Sure. I mean, only in simple terms, of course. Really? Wow, you know everything, Professor Nick. Yeah, I'm gonna call you Dr. Wright from now on. Hey, that sounds pretty cool. Don't you agree, Dr. Wright? Why do I get the feeling they're making fun of me? Okay, fine. I'm no expert, but I can at least explain the basics to the two of you. A virus is a program that gets inside a computer and causes damage. Damage? You mean it makes the machine go boom and explode? No, the damage is, well, it's all internal. So the inside goes boom, right? Imagine all the case data you've got stored on your PCs here in the station. A virus could wipe out all that. That's the kind of damage I'm talking about. Whoa, that's scary. Yeah, and what's even more scary is that viruses are infectious. Infectious? Most computers are connected together on a network, right? A virus can move from one machine to another over the network. So the virus just keeps spreading faster and faster. Just like a real virus, huh? But Nick, why would anyone want to make a program like that? Yeah, it takes ages to type in all that data. Why would you want to destroy it, pal? No, people don't infect their own machines. They send the virus to someone else's. What? That's horrible. Oh, I get it. It's like you sneezing on Mr. Godot so he catches a cold, bruh. Right. Then he wouldn't be able to turn up in court because he'd be too sick. You really shouldn't do stuff like that, Nick. It's wrong. Who? What? Where? When and why did the conversation jump to talking about me? Anyway, that's what a computer virus is. A bad program that causes damage. And all that different viruses have names, right? I kind of feel like I've heard the name of the virus we caught somewhere before. The name of the virus, huh? I feel like I've heard of it before. What are we looking for? Oh. Okay, maybe if we show him the name, or... Where's the disc? This one. Detective Gumshoe. About this. What? I'm trying to concentrate on Maggie and this virus right now, so I... Oh! This is it! The stupid name! I remember now! I thought so. Here it comes. Don't just nod to yourself when keeping in the dark, Nick. What's going on? It's okay, Maya. You don't have to cry about it. The name scribbled on that sports paper and written on that CD. That's the name of the virus. MC Bomber. What? Yeah, the virus that just infected every computer in the station, pal. It's MC Bomber. Can you give us any more details, please? We already knew about the MC Bomber virus from a while back. A group of criminals issued a series of demands to the head honchos of law enforcement. They threatened to release the virus if their demands weren't met. Who are they? I don't know. Some hotshots from the criminal underworld would be my guess. And now the virus has been released, huh? Yeah, it's in every computer in every public office in the city. Everyone's going nuts. They're hopping around like they're dancing at a carnival. All this stuff with criminals and viruses. It almost feels like we're in a sci-fi movie. Apparently the programmer who made the virus was a real genius or something. It was Glenn Elk. He made it. The focus right now is on tracing the root of this virus on the black market. You mean someone put this virus up for sale? Yeah, and because this one's so powerful, they're estimating its price tag was in the millions of dollars, pal. In the millions? A virus can be worth that much? Okay, I don't know if there's anything else to present. Or this one, this lady. That's the girl who works over at Tender Lender. You want to stay away from her, okay? I mean it. She does look kind of unforgiving, doesn't she? That should be the least of your worries, pal. What's that supposed to mean? What could be worse? Her name's Viola Cadaverini. She's the only granddaughter of Bruto Cadaverini. Look at this man. Bruto Cadaverini? Do you know who that is, Nick? Never heard of him. Bruto Cadaverini's the boss of the Cadaverini family. The Cadaverinis? That's one scary sounding name. We can't touch them. They're way too powerful for the police. But you're thinking of taking them on, aren't you? No, I don't remember ever saying I was going to. I better get some more info out of Gumshoe about this family. I'm not sure if I really want to get involved in this, but who are the Cadaverinis? Who are they? Scary bunch of people, that's who. You're a cop and you're scared? What's that about? Trust me, it doesn't matter if you're a kid or a cop. These guys are scary. They've got some serious clout, nice, in the criminal underworld. We can't touch them. They've got too much moolah. Moolah? As in, they pretty much control all the cash on the city's black market. The black market, huh? And that includes Tender Lender, I take it? Sure, no one stands up to Bruto Cadaverini. And I mean no one. Interesting. So Viola's the granddaughter of some mafia boss, then? Yeah, and everyone knows how much Bruto loves his little girl. She means everything to him. So, how did she end up at Tender Lender? I don't know, pal. But I heard she and the boss of Tender Lender are pretty tight. Tight? That's what it said in a file I read related to Maggie's case. Sounds like a pretty important clue. Arg! I can't believe it. I almost forgot the most important thing. And that is, you know, the lunchbox. How did everything go? A lunchbox? You remember? The weenies? I hate weenies. Oh yeah, those weenies. So, how did my weenies taste when they went down the hatch? Huh? Well, it was delicious. Yeah? That's what you said? Really? Well, not exactly. Don't worry about it, pal. I figured something would happen, so I came prepared. Prepared? What do you mean? I made a jumbo lunchbox. Oh. Do me a favor again, huh, pal? And deliver this. This sure is a heavy burden, in more ways than one. I can just imagine Maggie's little eyes sparkling with joy when you bring her that. Weenies again, Nick? Tell me we don't have to eat all these too. Bro, he made more weenies! I really can't eat anymore. Okay. Do we go back here? She's not even here. Trey bien? Is he in the kitchen? He's not here. Okay. Okay, yeah, she still has a... She still has a thing. Alright, let's try and crack this. The robot has still the thingy-majig. Psyche locks. Glenn's troubles. So, how about you tell me what kind of trouble Mr. Elg was in? I'm sorry, sir, but we don't deal with troubleshooting. Okay, let's skip this part, because we already know this part. Something to do with the... What was it? The tickets. It was the tickets, and then also the lottery ticket. It wasn't just the... It wasn't just the lottery or horse racing. It's lottery as well. You are right. It's hard to imagine how he could have been in trouble then, isn't it? It's true that Mr. Elg won $500,000 in the end, but that was his first stroke of good luck, but he was in deep trouble before that. Deep trouble? What do you mean? Real problem with someone or something more terrifying. It was this. He had a date. He even made a note on this calendar about the meet with a tiger. What is the relevance of that? Are you trying to suggest Glenn was meeting him to discuss his debt? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Tiger before. Introduce you to the tiger. Okay. Do we have his profile now? Here. Furio Tiger, aka the Tiger, is the boss of a loan office called Tender Lender. This is who Mr. Elk met with on the day of his murder. And the only thing a loan shark would talk with him about would be his debt. No. It's true that Glenn had racked up quite a bit of debt from his gambling habit. About $100,000, I think. $100,000? Ouch! But I heard he won the lottery, so he should have been in the clear. Shame Maggie couldn't get a bit of that good luck. Okay, so the guy got lucky and won the lottery. But what if he hadn't won? What was his plan then? Well, this isn't easy to say, but he said he would use his talents to repay the money. His talents? I suspect he was talking about programming. What computer program is worth $100,000? Perhaps you good people should leave so I can get back to my work. I'm so close to cracking her. The program in question, was it by any chance this? It was the virus. Oh no! I accidentally pressed back. No. I have to go through all that again. It's the disc. It's MC Bomber. So basically Glenn Elg was he had debt, $100,000 debt because he was gambling. Then he made MC Bomber, a virus that was gonna sell to the black market. But then he also won the lottery. Lottery ticket. Take that. Yes. Okay. It's this, right? Yeah. He had a meeting with Don Tiger. Here he is. Here's his profile. Yes. $100,000. His talents. The program in question wasn't by chance this. It was. Where's the disc? This one. MC Bomber. Well, this is it, isn't it? This is the virus that's infecting computers worldwide as we speak. MC Bomber! No! There we go. We regained our small health that we lost. Glenn's head had more processing power than any computer, but had been infected with a gambling virus. Glenn was in too deep. You mean he was in debt? Yes, $100,000 in debt, not an easy amount to repay. So, he said he was taking on some extra work, something a bit risky. Risky? How? Maybe he was going to become a waitress at Très Bien. Ha ha ha! Where do you come up with these ideas? So it's safe to say Mr. Elk was the creator of this virus, huh? The MC Bomber virus? Yes. It was a work of genius, in a bad sort of way, of course, but still genius. Something like that would probably fetch several $1,000,000 on the black market. Inconceivable! Gumshoe was right for a change. This date, December 3rd, that is marked on his calendar. That was his deadline for repaying his debts. Well, updated. I guess we won't be needing these horse racing tickets anymore. Glenn Elg's losing horse racing tickets thrown back on the floor. Use the trash can, Nick. Bro, we just threw it back on the floor. Oops. So let's look at the court record. What was updated? So, computer virus made by Glenn Elk, potentially worth millions of dollars. That's crazy. Okay, is Armstrong back in the kitchen? No. He's not. He's not. Okay, you're still here. Do you have Psyche Locks? No. You're still here. You, I think, have Psyche Locks. But we don't know exactly what happened yet. Okay, maybe what's her name's back? No. Oh my. Gumshoe? Maybe. Oh no. Maybe we ask about the tiger. Oh, this guy, the tiger. Is he famous? Yeah, this guy's not a loan shark, you know. Nope, he's a big lone cat. Hence the name. Don't pay him back, and you'd better say your prayers, because he'll eat you alive. You're shaking, detective. Like a leaf. I'm just, you know, kinda on the edge at the moment, if you know what I mean. Okay, let's ask about this guy. I wouldn't go flashing that photo around if I were you, pal. Why not? That guy rules the criminal underworld. You could get yourselves in serious trouble. I'm talking say your prayers trouble. You're shaking, detective. Like a leaf. Bro. This is the same dialogue. Okay. I don't know, maybe we try cracking the girl. She has 4 locks though, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. 4? 4? Yeah, 4? Not 1, but 4? You said that bandage around your head was from an operation? You also said you suffered a fatal injury to the head, correct? Yes. The operation was very difficult, apparently. Now, by fatal injury, you mean you were hurt very badly somehow, right? Hee hee. Did the injury in question have something to do with this? The scooter? No. Donuts? Huh? I baked them myself. Homemade donuts. Have one. What's inside? Jam and... I'm sorry, but I didn't quite catch that. Hee hee hee. Thanks, but no thanks. I think I'll pass. I guess that was a flop. Yeah, what happened is... There must be some piece of evidence that will prompt her to tell me what happened. Get a donut? I got an achievement. Get a... How'd I get an achievement for that? Okay, did the injury in question have something to do with... Man. Yeah, I'm not so sure. Oh, there's more evidence! There's a piece of paper sticking out from under here. What is it? A repair bill. Looks like he did some repair work on his car. Does he even have one? 15,000 to replace a bumper and a light. That's insane. The car is registered to the Cadaverinis. Huh? So it's not even the Tiger's car? Why would someone else's repair bill be in the Tiger's office? Alright, maybe it's that. Okay, maybe we present this. Well, first it's... This is getting juicy. This is getting juicy. So that bandage was from an operation. Did the injury in question have something to do with this? The paper we just found. Yes. I have here a car repair bill. From this, it seems pretty obvious that this car was involved in an accident. Let me see that. This bill is made out to the Cadaverinis? Yes, it is. I don't think I ever introduced myself. Tell me, what do the Cadaverinis have to do with me? Something tells me she's not about to say hi and introduce herself. Alright then. Your relationship with the Cadaverinis is very strong, and this is why. Can we just present her profile, or do we present this guy's profile? Okay. I know exactly who you are. Viola Cadaverini. You sustained that injury in a traffic accident, didn't you? One broke. It happened about 4 months ago. I was driving in one of our family's cars when someone pulled out in front of me. Bruh. It was a motorbike, or something like that. I don't remember it much. Anyway, I swerved to try to avoid it, but... I took a blow to the head. A bad one. Yeah, I can imagine. So what happened to the person on the bike? I'm guessing they didn't get away with injuring the Viola Cadaverini, right? I don't know what happened to them. They ran away, or so I heard. Ran away? If they'd stayed, I'd have... Hee hee hee. Is it possible? Could the person who committed the hit and run have been... this man? It was this man, wasn't it? He was the cause of your accident. It wasn't Don Tiger? I refuse to believe it. Bro. We collided, the motorbike and my car. But Don Tiger isn't injured at all, is he? It was the tiger who caused Viola to crash. I can feel it. Plus, one of her locks is broke, so she must suspect it was him too. I'm sorry, Miss Cadaverini, but I have proof that the tiger was involved in a traffic accident on his bike. Okay, now I think we present his bike, because this is his bike. The one that's jammed up. It's not exactly a motorbike, but Mr. Tiger rides around on a scooter, doesn't he? And you'll notice that the front wheel guard is badly damaged. Miss Cadaverini? You know the truth, don't you? He. This repair bill was paid by Furio Tiger. The Cadaverinis have known for ages who caused the accident, haven't they? It's possible, perhaps. Somewhere inside me, I know that may be true. I knew it. But Don Tiger still saved my life. The operation was very complicated. It was very, very expensive. How much are we talking? Very, very, very expensive. She seems kind of hesitant about giving me an actual figure. I should back off. Well, anyway, it was the tiger who paid for it, right? After I recovered, Don Tiger told me. He said he paid for the operation because he cared about me. I believe him. Really? But do you honestly believe that to be true? Do you want to know what I think? I think the reason he paid for the operation wasn't because of you, but someone else. This guy. Perhaps I shouldn't be saying this, but your grandfather, Bruto Cadaverini, controls a lot of dubious cash, right? And you are his beloved pride and joy. Sure, I don't know exactly how much the operation cost, but if you weren't the granddaughter of Mr. Cadaverini, do you think Mr. Tiger would have paid the money? $1 million. Bruh. "4 months ago, I was in a traffic accident. That's why I needed the operation. When I woke up, they told me it was nothing serious. A simple procedure." Oh? Really? Well, I guess if she recovered in 4 months, it couldn't have been too big. They said the operation cost $1 million. $1 million bucks? My grandfather ordered Don Tiger to pay $1 million in compensation. Compensation, huh? It's underworld lingo for paying money to settle a score. Basically, pay or get into some serious trouble. But $1 million bucks? This has to be related to our poisoning case somehow. I wanted to believe him. I wanted to trust what Don Tiger said. He said it had nothing to do with my grandfather being Bruto Cadaverini. I wanted to believe he helped me because he cared about me, not about my grandfather. Bruh. But I knew that wasn't really true. Wow. I'm so sorry. What he did to get the money it was evil. He said it was all for me, so I helped him. You helped him? In what way? Here, take these. What are these? Medical papers? I'm Bruto Cadaverini's granddaughter. He had to pay compensation. He was made an offer. He simply couldn't refuse. Viola's medical papers. A $1 million bill for cranial surgery. Payment was due last year. Wow, I feel so bad for Viola. It's inexcusable. Huh? There are two things that I consider inexcusable. Poisoning and betrayal. Only a coward would hurt people using either of these tactics. Is everything alright, Nick? We should get going. Right after we finish our espresso. Yeah. I won't need to convince Viola of anything else, so I guess I can get rid of this. Repair bill thrown into the trash. Alright. Now I think we should talk with... Yep, he's here. Bonjour. I have been waiting for for you to return. Mr. Armstrong? Ah, good timing. I was hoping to find you here. We'd like to ask you a few questions. Well, he hasn't got anything to say to you, fellas. Ah, it's Jin Yu. Who you calling Jin Yu? Come out from under the table already, Maya. Okay, hand it over. What? You just want to play games with me? Don't recommend that. The medical papers, now. Uh-oh, I think he wants Viola Cadaverini's papers back. You mean this? The $1 million medical papers? Miss Cadaverini trusted you. That's why she said that she helped you. Forget about it. That girl's dumber than an eggplant. You want to know what's sad? I'll tell you what's sad, and it ain't only her face. She thinks she's got power because she's Bruto's little girl. No, that's sad. I can't let you have these papers. Tomorrow in court, I'm going to expose what you did to get the 1 million you used to pay this off. Are you crazy or something? I don't care if you want to give it to me or not. There's 2 of us here. You got that? 2. Oui. Mr. Armstrong? Forgive me. I don't know what that means. I cannot argue with him. Erg! That really hurt. Is that all you've got? I'll be taking those papers now. Armstrong, get that lighter. Wait! Don't take it too hard, Phoenix Wright. That was so stupid. I shouldn't have let my guard down. Those medical papers were vital evidence. I faint. Hold it, pal! Detective Gumshoe? Detective? You think you're gonna stop me, copper? Beat it! Whoa! Come on, Gumshoe, keep it together. You guys, get out of here. Leave this guy to me. But, go, pal, and take this. If you get hurt, who's gonna look after Maggie, huh? Alright, thanks, Gumshoe. Wait, Nick, don't leave me behind. Bro, Gumshoe saved the day. I'll get even with that guy tomorrow in court. Tenderlander is going down. To be continued. All right. Let's get on this trial. All right. Part 4. Oops. You know, even though this case is kind of like a filler, it's still pretty good. It's kind of intense. Let's get it. Yep. Good morning, Mr. Wright. Good morning, Maggie. So, what do you think is going to happen today, sir? Yesterday's session didn't go so well and ended on a giant mystery. That's true. And we still haven't solved a single part of it yet. Are you okay, Nick? Huh? Oh, yeah, of course. I saw that little flash of doubt in your eyes. No, that wasn't doubt. That was, determination. Why don't I believe you? It's nearly time, Maggie. You'd better get going to the defendant's seat. Roger. Don't let me down, Mr. Wright. I'm counting on you. Salute emoji. Bro, this mosquito is really annoying me. Hey, pal! Hey, Detective Gumshoe. Quit stressing Maggie out. She doesn't need that. How did you know she was stressed? I was watching through the doorway. Oh. You look like you lost the case already. Show a bit of confidence, will you, pal? Here, maybe this'll help. Huh? Have you taken up aromatherapy too? Not in a million years, pal. Don't tell me that you don't remember this thing. Come to think of it, that doesn't look like one of those aromatherapy bottles. This was the bottle that we found in the kitchen. This is a small bottle that turned up in Trey Bien's kitchen a couple of days ago. Yeah, this is when we found it out. Wow, look at all these small bottles. Oh, they're aromatherapy oils. He's got so many, they're overflowing onto the floor. Hey, wait a minute. There's one bottle that's different from all the others. Well, what do you know? And it doesn't have a label either. And, sniff, it doesn't smell. We finally got the analysis results back from the lab. So, what is it? Is it the poison? I'm afraid not, pal. It's medication. Medication? Yeah, for ears. Topical use only, apparently. For ears? You mean... Yeah, it's the medication Glenn Elg was using for his ruptured eardrum. What was Glenn Elg's ear medicine doing in the kitchen? Well, now we know. What about the unidentified fingerprints? Anything on that? Someone screwed up, so they only had time to analyze the contents of the bottle. Another hour and they might have gotten something on the prints, but that's going to weaken its impact as a piece of evidence. Okay, pal, this is it. Make sure your defense is impregnable today. Got it? Today's trial. I'm gonna expose that guy for what he's done. Or my name isn't Phoenix Wright. Yeah, this case kind of hype, for real. Anyways. Oh, yes, Godot. Court is now in session for the trial of Maggie Bird. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Ready and waiting, as always, Your Honor. Very good. Then we'll get underway at once. Yesterday we heard the testimony of Mr. Victor Kudo. He claims to have witnessed the defendant putting a powder into the victim's coffee. However, the witness's testimony was plagued with a number of problems. The mark on the rim of the cup shows that the victim drank from it with his right hand. But according to the old man's testimony, he picked it up with his left hand. Thank you, Mr. Godot. Furthermore, according to the witness's account, the victim was listening to the radio with an earpiece in his left ear. Yet, the victim's left eardrum was ruptured, which made him effectively deaf in that ear. It's amazing how many contradictions a single case can have, huh, Nick? Ha! Allow me to enlighten you, Your Honor. The world, you see, keeps turning, and we must turn with it. You've lost me already, Mr. Godot. Don't let the mysteries of yesterday mystify you today. Only losers think like that. You've got to change with the times. That's one of my rules. Are you implying that you've resolved these contradictions? You know the answers to these riddles? The old guy wasn't just throwing seeds in here, he was throwing us off the scent. And today I'll prove it. Very well. Let the first witness take the stand. Armstrong! Oh my gosh. And you are? Oh, bonjour, everyone. I am Jean Armstrong, the owner and head chef at La Très Bien restaurant. Enchanté. I don't know if that's how you say it. ... Forgive me for asking, witness, but, are you a woman? Oh la la, monsieur. As you can see, I am la pet and plucky gentleman, no? On the day of the incident, you were in Très Bien's kitchen. Isn't that right? With you, monsieur, everything feels right. He said, shake my head. Ha! Wow, he's totally unfazed. Doesn't anything intimidate this guy? Very well. Your testimony, please, witness. Please tell the court what happened that day at Très Bien. Oui, volontiers. I'm probably butchering all the French words. When it all happened, there were just 2 customers in my restaurant. I remember I was experimenting with some new art deco that day, like having a large mirror between the tables, for example. Oui, perhaps that is what la old man was looking at. La cup, la earpiece, and la glass. It would have seen everything in reverse, no? Uh, mirror? Oui, un grand mirror. La most enormous mirror. Bro. And suddenly the mystery disappears. Like I said, the world keeps turning, so roll with it. That would explain the coffee cup and the earpiece conundrum. The mirror would have made everything appear back to front. What the heck? It's way too early in the morning for this to be happening to me. A mirror was in the middle of the restaurant? That makes no sense! Now then, Mr. Wright, you may begin your cross-examination. When it all happened, there was just two customers in my restaurant. I'm gonna press everything, bro. And who were the two customers exactly? Mais, of course, the young man who died, and the other not-so-young man. You were referring to yesterday's witness, I presume. What about the other man Maggie says she saw at the table? Something tells me Mr. Armstrong isn't planning to disclose his existence. We need some hard evidence first before we can bring him up, don't we? I guess I'll just have to try a different approach for the time being. Just keep pressing his statements. I remember I was experimenting like this. Let's press this. How big of a mirror are we talking about here? Wolf, something about 4 meters wide and, oui, about 2 meters high. Let's see, if 1 meter is about 1 yard, holy glass in a frame, that's huge. I was intending to install it on the ceiling eventually. The ceiling? Was there a mirror on the ceiling? I don't remember. Mais none. But I decided not to go through with it in the end. What should I do? Should I ask him more about the mirror or not? Yes. If he really had such a large mirror in the restaurant, someone would have noticed it. But there's nothing about a mirror in Mr. Kudo or Maggie Bird's testimony. But... You didn't ask, Wright. You have only yourself to blame for such sloppy work. What? A mirror was delivered to Trey Bien the day before the incident. Really? As Mr. Armstrong testified, he was carrying out some design changes. And as it turned out, he didn't actually use the mirror in the end. This just doesn't add up. Even if a mirror was delivered to Trey Bien, it doesn't prove that it was in the restaurant on the day of the crime. Blah! If you want to doubt someone, try it. Look in the mirror. I'm sure the person looking back at you will be dubious enough. So the witness yesterday had seen the victim reflected in a mirror. Oui, perhaps that is what the old man was looking at. What? Normally I'd expect people to know the difference between a reflection and a real object. Normally? How does normality come into this? That's lame, right? Even for you. Huh? Are you trying to say that if something isn't normal, it isn't possible? Is that it? Where does that leave the porky-headed lawyer and the top-knot chick over there? And the ungodly cool guy with a mask over here? Well, Trite? Hold up, someone's calling me. Okay, I am back. And the ungodly cool guy with the mask over here. Well, Trite? Not the hair! I do not have a top knot. Mr. Godot is correct. A lack of normality is no basis for discounting an argument. Bien. Logic as one la day. Bruh. La cup, la earpiece, and la glasses, you would have seen everything in reverse, no? Everything? He would have seen everything in reverse? Oui. Hey Nick, we should take a sec and think about what Old Man Seedy said in his testimony. How did he phrase it again? The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. Was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear, without a doubt. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand. What?
What's that?
Dad's gone. Yeah, he's gone. Why? He's gone, Madden.
B.
What? What are you doing? Let me see.
C.
Oh, Call of Zombies?
Claw zombies. And the claws.
Oh, do you want to play that?
And the claws.
The Call of Mini Zombies? Let me see if it's here. If not,
I don't.
hold up. My brother's asking me to download something. Wow. The whole phone needs to update for the Apple Store to update. This thing is not updated.
Soldier.
Update. Software update. Check your. Hold up. You need to charge the phone, Madden. It's at 2%. Hi. Download and install. What's the password for this phone? Madden, do you know the password? What's the password? Password.
A.
Do it.
1.
Do it. What's the password?
1.
Do the password.
You watch 2.
Is it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? No. What is it? Do you know? What's the password? Do you know?
And 2 leg.
Hold up, Madden. Give me a sec. Okay, I am back. Okay, now back to the topic at hand. And then he used the same hand to pick up the cup, his left hand. If he saw everything he described reflected in a mirror, then everything he said he saw on the left was actually on the right. Huh. And that clears up all the problems with his testimony, I guess. Or does it? Huh. It's kind of hard to believe everything is the fault of a mirror, but do you think Old CD saw everything through a reflection? If he did, it would explain all the contradictions in his testimony. But that just makes the situation worse for Maggie. There's got to be something in that old man's testimony. We just got to dig deeper. Okay. Look up the earpiece and like everything reverse. If there was like a mirror in front. I don't understand. Okay, so, but his left eardrum was ruptured. And the old man said that what he saw was the left, it was on his left, the spectacle and the eardrum. But if it was reversed, then it would have been on the right, right? But the man was saying it was on the left. Yeah. The coffee cup, the earpiece, and the HMD. Let's think back over Mr. Kudo's testimony for a second, shall we? Because if there was a mirror and it made it reflected, then he would have seen everything on the right. The boy was wearing the earpiece on the same side as the green lens of his specs. No question, you can lock me up if I'm wrong. It was his left ear without a doubt. So to summarize, we were told both the HMD and the earpiece were on the victim's left side. Now, if Mr. Kudo saw that as a reflection in a mirror, it means both the HMD and the earpiece were actually on the victim's right side. But that doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Because he ruptured his left eardrum. So why would it be on his right side? Exactement. You see, monsieur, now that you think about it, is not so odd, no? Unfortunately, that's where we run into a monumental contradiction with the facts. If Mr. Kudo really did see everything in a mirror, why is it that the HMD is now on the wrong side of his head? Order! Order! Mr. Wright is correct. If the witness genuinely observed the victim reflected in a mirror, then we would expect the victim's eyepiece to have been over his right eye. How bitter. Wright, you should have a taste of this bitterness. It'll calm you down in no time. Are we talking about your coffee or something completely different? You don't understand the way the witness thinks. How he thinks? You remember this, I presume? The I broke the vase sorry apology Mr. Kudo's sworn testimony? Exactly. The old man has one very grievous habit, other than throwing seeds. The more of an impression something makes, the more muddled his mind makes it. And what's the most striking thing about Mr. Elg? Clearly it's the victim's eyepiece. And that's my point. The old man strikes again. Mr. Elg's HMD made a big impression on the old man. I saw the earpiece and those newfangled spectacles he was wearing. Oh yes, they were both on his left ear, do you hear? His left ear! Ha! Well, Wright. Irk. That's the worst, but best impression of Kudo ever. Wow, I really thought he was old CD for a minute there. Godot's good. Enough! I must agree that yesterday's witness was irresponsibly rash in much of his testimony. Bad luck, Nick. Looks like the boil of a contradiction you found is just a rash. A mirror can't be beaten by a handful of seeds, nor can it lie. So, what exactly was the old man looking at? Fill us in, Mr. Armstrong. Go on, tell the court. We're all ears. Oui, I can explain. Please, if you will look at the plans of the restaurant. This man. Alors, is everyone sitting comfortably? The mirror, it was in the middle of the restaurant, dividing the two halves. There was only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim. That was the seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting. After the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. But naturally, I did not touch anything else. Bruh. I see no problems with the explanation we have just heard. From the table next to the victims, Mr. Kudo could have seen the victim in the mirror. What a naughty little coquette I am, confusing all the men like this. Don't worry about it. We can keep up except for the guy breaking out in a cold sweat over there again. I hate that guy. You said you didn't touch anything else apart from the mirror. Are you quite sure about that? Volunteers, of course. This man's capping. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please. The mirror, it was in the middle restaurant, dividing the two halves. There was only one seat from which you could have seen an image of the victim. And where would that be? Oh la la, look how you lean towards me. I always attract the younger boys. Maybe I should keep you in suspense a little longer. Mr. Armstrong, tell the court what you know at once. I attract the older ones too, you know. Handsome. Shall I tease you too? I'm already seeing a very hot someone, so I'm afraid you'll be waiting for a long time. I bet she has mocha cream skin and cappuccino perfume. Bien, I will tell you. There was only one seat from which you could have seen. That was the seat at the table next to the victims. That was where the old man was sitting. So why can you only see the victim from that particular seat? Mademoiselle, is it obvious, no? If you look at the plans, you will understand. The victim would have been reflected in the mirror like so. If you were sitting at the table next to him, you would see everything, no? So that's the seat old Seedy was sitting in on that day, when the poisoning happened. The old man was sitting at the table next to the victim? Why does that seem kinda odd? After the terrible incident occurred, I moved the mirror so it was not in the way. Did you move the mirror while Mr. Kudo was off calling the police? Oui, exactement. I carried it out of the restaurant then. You moved a huge mirror like that all by yourself? What can I say? I know how to pick things up, handsome. Goda actually laughed at something. Well, given the witness's physique, I suppose it is possible. Did you move anything else from the crime scene, Mr. Armstrong? I look like the obliging type, no? But naturally, I did not touch anything else. Oh, really? Oh, really? Are you sure? Are you positive? Are you sure about that? I touched nothing except the mirror. Mr. Wright, is there something the witness has said that doesn't match the crime scene? Yeah, there is. I just can't put my finger on what exactly. Ha! Suffering from a case of heartburn, right? Oui. Oh, oh, I have just the thing for that. An oil with golden myrrh and frankincense stains? Add a few drops to your coffee and voila. Enjoy. Focus, Phoenix. Breathe. I needed to ignore those two and just find some evidence. It is pretty strange though, isn't it? I mean, nobody mentioned anything about a really large mirror. You'd think someone would have, but Maggie didn't, and neither did old Seedy. The only logical explanation is that there was no mirror inside Très Bien that day. Now I've just got to prove it somehow. These guys, man. Okay. Oops. I remember now. So you see that vase that's still there? The vase that's still there, but his Victor's testimony. When the incident occurred, I broke the vase at my seat. I'm sorry. However, that contradicts this photo, because the vase is still there. So we think this is what we should present at this statement, because he said that was la seat at the table next to the victim. That was where the old man was sitting. But obviously, that's a contradiction. Here we go. Your Honor, Mr. Kudo's words yesterday strongly contradict Mr. Armstrong's testimony. This is the letter of apology that was written by Mr. Kudo, is it not? I realize it looks useless, Your Honor, but this is still testimony. Ha! I guess useless people are only good at identifying useless things. What relevance does this scrap of paper have to the trial, Mr. Wright? Mr. Kudo's testimony is actually very relevant to the question at hand, Your Honor, because it very clearly contradicts with this piece of evidence. The photo. This piece of evidence contradicts with the testimony we have heard, Your Honor. The crime photo? Yes, this photo clearly shows something that theoretically should not exist. What on earth do you mean by that, Mr. Wright? Should not exist? Ha, sounds like you're describing yourself, Wright. Now then, the defense would please clarify its statement. What is the something that should not exist in this photo? This vase. There is one thing that was clearly demonstrated by yesterday's testimony. Mr. Kudo broke the vase that was on the table where he was sitting. And yet, as the court can see, there is an unbroken vase on the table next to the victim. Why? Because Mr. Kudo was not, in fact, sitting at the table next to the victim at all. Don't be an idiot, Wright. That's impossible. That seat's the only one Kudo could have seen the victim's reflection from. Exactly. There is only one conclusion we can draw from this contradiction. There was no mirror in Très Bien that day. Your testimony, Mr. Armstrong, is an elaborate lie. Mon Dieu! Don't try to confuse the court, Wright. Obviously, the witness cleaned up the vase, while the police were taking their time getting to the crime scene. Unfortunately, Mr. Godot, that doesn't quite work for me. Mr. Armstrong already testified to the contrary, in his own words. I did not touch anything else, except the mirror. Well, witness, what do you have to say for yourself? Sniffle. I was right. There was no mirror in the restaurant that day. In light of this revelation, we return back to the original problem. Why did the victim have an earpiece in an ear in which he couldn't hear? You only get one shot in life. There's no turning back. If you want to claim that the mirror wasn't there, Wright, then this problem is all yours. How do you explain what the old man saw? If I can answer this, then I'll be that much closer to the truth. I can feel it. Are you going to be okay? Can you really solve this contradiction, Nick? There's more than just this one contradiction, Maya. What do you mean? Remember what Maggie told us? There was another man at the victim's table. And there was a sample CD on the victim's table. It all flies in the face of Mr. Kudo's testimony. And I think I know the reason why nothing in this case is adding up. Well, Mr. Wright, let's hear your answer. Yes, Your Honor. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. Mr. Kudo made a mistake, the ear doctor made a mistake, the victim was a phony. Mr. Kudo made a mistake? The victim was a phony? The ear doctor made a mistake? Bro, what are these answers? The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimony is simple. Mr. Kudo made a mistake? Or was it the ear doctor made a mistake? That doesn't make sense to me. The victim was a phony? What? Okay, I'm just gonna guess. I think Mr. Kudo made a mistake. Clearly, Mr. Kudo made a mistake. Mr. Trite, you're the one who brought up all these contradictions. And if you're trying to tell us the old man just made a mistake, we can wrap up this case right now with a guilty verdict. How about it, Mr. Wright? Should I just declare your client guilty? Bro, is that the best you could come up with, Nick? I'm sorry, Your Honor, I was the one who made a mistake. Oh my gosh. The reason behind all the contradictions in Mr. Kudo's testimonies. The ear doctor made a mistake? The victim was a phony? Does that make sense? Or the ear doctor made a mistake? How is it that the ear doctor made a mistake? Left eardrum was ruptured. I'm gonna guess the victim was a phony. This case is riddled with contradictions, yet there is one very simple answer that clears them all up. And what is that? The incident Mr. Kudo witnessed and the incident the victim experienced were two completely different events. What? Yes, the victim that Mr. Kudo saw wasn't Mr. Glenn Elg at all. It was an imposter, a phony pretending to be Mr. Elg. Obviously, unlike the victim, there was nothing wrong with the imposter's left eardrum. That's how he ended up wearing the earpiece in his left ear by mistake. Ooh. Bruh, the victim was a phony? Order! Order in the court! Settle down or I'll clear the courtroom! Quiet, Gramps. Why don't you clear out here, huh? What did you say? Trite, are you saying that what Mr. Kudo saw was a setup? Yes. Someone pretended to be Glenn Elg and acted out the whole coffee poisoning. All for the express purpose of creating a witness out of one Mr. Victor Kudo. Get real, Trite. Why would anyone want to do that? Isn't it obvious? The thing Mr. Kudo was most insistent about in his testimony was the servant girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. That's the servant girl, right there in the defendant's chair. I remember her well. It's so hard to believe, but there was one and only one reason to show Mr. Kudo this fake poisoning. To show Maggie Bird in the act of poisoning the coffee. Are you insinuating that the waitress in the old man's story was a fake as well? It's true that there were no other customers in the restaurant at the time, but it's also true that the chef was there. He would have noticed that what was happening. That's right. Well, witness, if your restaurant really was the scene of such theatrics, you would have known about it, correct? Oh la la, this is most difficult for me. No, it's quite simple. All you have to do is testify. You are under oath after all. Was there, in fact, a phony at Trebien that day? The defense demands that Mr. Armstrong tell the whole truth about what happened. The defense's request for the additional testimony is accepted. You will accurately explain in detail the events in the restaurant that day. Oui. This man's sweating bullets. How many pills does that Rose have? He's tearing them off. La victim, Monsieur Elg, he came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There were no other customers. When he got word he won the lottery, Mon Elg became very excited. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. None. There was no time for a pony to do the acting. Okay, before we continue, I need to rush him, bro. Okay, I am back. Okay, just so we're clear, there was no mirror in the restaurant after all. Je vous demande pardon. Forgive me, Your Honor. I lied because I wanted this mess to be cleared up quickly. Bruh. What you have just done is commit perjury, Mr. Armstrong. I will decide how to punish you later. Oui. For now, we will hear your cross-examination, Mr. Wright, if you please. He took that perjury charge a bit too well. But I'm guessing he'll be in more serious trouble after this cross-examination. For real. Frickin' Skeeto! Alright. The victim, Monsieur L, he came to my restaurant alone. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. There were no other customers. When he got word he won the lottery, Monsieur Elk became excited. Let's push this. Did you see him? None. I was in the kitchen, but I heard him. I remember him shouting, "Yes, $500,000." Presumably the defendant heard that too then, correct? Maggie? She looked like a poor little frightened dove. And what about Mr. Kudo? The old man choked on some bird seeds that got stuck in his throat. It seems now we have yet another incident on our hands. It was approximately 5 minutes later that the poisoning incident occurred. And what were you doing at that point? Without any customers, you must have had time to kill. I am a multi-talented woman, monsieur. Sorry? What do you mean? There is... there is la renowned chef Jean Armstrong and la tragic poet Clarice Armstrong. Clarice? Oui, I was writing a poem. An angry tale of a chef in $500,000 of debt, cooking for a man who won $500,000 on the lottery. It is called Por... I don't know how to say that. It means why. Perhaps I could recite it for the court? Please don't. Bruh. No, there was no time for a phony to do la acting. You mean you contacted the police as soon as the incident occurred? I asked the old man to call from la payphone. By your own argument, right? The purpose of this phony victim's performance was so the old man would see it. In other words, once the incident occurred, this opportunity would completely disappear. Indeed. Bien, it seems the shadow of doubt has been lifted. N'est-ce pas? I don't know if I said that right. I guess Mr. Armstrong is connected to this case, huh? Absolutely. Someone was impersonating Mr. Elk, and I refuse to believe he was oblivious. He was there the whole time, after all. But if you're right, wouldn't Maggie have noticed too? She fell unconscious when the incident occurred, remember? Ah, you mean that's when the phony stages act? Well, we'll know for sure once I find a hole in this testimony. Okay. Armor man arrived along after him. Other customers when... Getting excited. It was approximately 5 minutes out later as a lot of poisoning incident occurred. Okay, most thrilling 10 minutes of your life every Monday at 1:30. So it was at 1:30. So around 1:30 or so is when the guy was listening to the radio. Then 5 minutes later, according to this guy, poisoning happened, right? So then... Is there any evidence that says when... Was he alone at his table as well? Someone from the kitchen. There's a difference. She swears there was another man at the victim's table. Huh. Unfortunately for you, Wright, yesterday's witness also testified that the victim was alone. You know, seeing you squirm like that reminds me of a certain coffee's bittersweet bite. What kind of coffee has he been drinking? It's not coffee. It's love. It's love that's bittersweet. Hearing Maya say that makes her seem wise all of a sudden. I remember the old man arrived not long after him. By old man, you mean Victor Kudo, correct? Oui, he comes often for my special coffee. I drank your coffee once, Mr. Armstrong. It's special, I'll give you that. It's worth a sip just for the experience. Oh, you make me so happy, monsieur. You are most welcome any time. I said it was worth one sip, and nothing more. So old Mr. Kudo arrived at the restaurant around the same time as the victim. Maybe I should ask about his arrival in more detail. What time was it? Out of curiosity, about what time was it when Mr. Kudo arrived? Oh no, I cannot remember, monsieur. I believe we were told by a witness yesterday. The crime was reported at 2:25. Okay, there. See, this is the contradiction. So the crime was reported at 2:25, right? But the radio where he listens to the lottery, it's at 1:30. So there's like a whole almost an hour time of discrepancy there. Because if he died after listening to the radio for the lottery ticket, and then the crime was reported at 2:25, there's a whole lot of time missing in between the death and the time the crime was reported. So the crime was reported at 2:25 by a kind of scary old man. Does that perhaps jog your memory, witness? The incident happened about 20 minutes after he arrived, so the victim must have arrived between 2 p.m. and 2:10 p.m. Non? Just after 2, huh? Thank you for your help in jogging my memory, monsieur. You are wonderful. Ha ha ha, I cannot sit here all the time and do nothing, can I? The time of day will be added to the witness's testimony. Oui, monsieur Judge. Everything I do it for you. Merci bien. That's French, isn't it? Ha ha ha. I'm glad at least one person is in a good mood. He's even humming a song to himself. Okay, now we can use this testimony. I remember the old man arrived not long after him, just after 2 p.m. But this contradicts the evidence. I'm afraid I finally got you, Mr. Armstrong. Qui? I don't know if that's how you say that. What do you mean? At the time in question, the victim was listening to the radio with his earpiece. The show he was listening to was Millionaire Radio. Each week they announced the winning numbers of the $500,000 lottery ticket. Oui, that must be la show Monsieur Elk was listening to. I can't see any problem with his testimony, Mr. Wright. I wonder. You say the victim arrived at your restaurant after 2 p.m., correct? Oui, oui, I'm sure of it. I remember it perfectly now. I know it was that time because I had just finished serving the lunch menu. Get to the point, Wright, if you have one. That show was broadcast live at 1:30 p.m., and it claims to be the most thrilling 10 minutes of your life. It's on the air at 1:30? Now supposedly, the victim made some noise when it was announced that he had won. And yet, I don't believe his cry of joy could have occurred after 2 p.m. because the show had already finished more than 30 minutes earlier by that point in time. Oh, this victim we've been told about has done nothing but the impossible. Listening to the radio with a ruptured eardrum, catching a show that was already over, there is only one conclusion you could draw from these facts. This victim was an imposter, acting out the poisoning 30 minutes after the real murder. Yes, there were two Glen Elgs in Très Bien that day. The real Glen Elg, now dead, having been poisoned by the real killer, and the phony Glen Elg acting out the events for Mr. Kudo to witness. It certainly seems that way. I mean, if that wasn't the case, how could you explain the time discrepancy? Quite a performance, Wright. You were almost on a roll. But sadly, you lack the rock-hard foundation of rhythm to build your song. What is this? Music Theory 101? Let's recap. According to your imaginative theory, it's now just after 2 p.m. The phony Elg is performing a play for the benefit of Mr. Kudo. How do you explain then where the real Glen Elg is? I don't believe I have to spell this out for the court. However, at that time, the real Glen Elg was already dead. That's certainly the obvious conclusion. Thank you, Trite. That's exactly what I was hoping you would say. What? Now, I presume you can prove this theory of yours. Can you explain where the missing corpse went to? The missing corpse? According to the old man's testimony, there was only one other customer there. If that customer was the phony Glen Elg, then where did the killer hide the body of the real victim? Yarg! The prosecution has a valid point, Mr. Wright. If your theory is to stand up to examination by the court, you must provide us with proof by answering the prosecution's question. Where did the killer hide the body? Yes, Your Honor. No conjecture, Wright. Let's hear some facts for once. Show the court a piece of evidence that proves where the body was hidden. Evidence? What's with the intense pressure in here all of a sudden? I thought I had him with that contradiction. But he's turned it all around. He's turned it all around and backed me into a corner instead. Well, Mr. Wright, the court will now hear the defense's theory and evidence. First, where was the body of the real Mr. L concealed? I doubt it was outside, so it has to be somewhere inside. It would have been too dangerous to take the body outside. Obviously, the body must have been hidden somewhere inside Très Bien. Interesting. But where could a body have been hidden inside a restaurant? Perhaps you would care to show the court on these plans, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Obviously, I think it's probably just in the kitchen. The exact location where the body was hidden was probably in here. The body was hidden here! I see. Nice supposition. But the real question is, can you back it up? Where's the evidence that proves the body was hidden in that location? This? The victim's ear medicine found covered in unidentified fingerprints in the kitchen. Mr. Armstrong, do you recognize this bottle? None. None. I have never seen that ugly bottle before in my life. I only use the very best bottles, monsieur. The highest quality only for me. Where was that bottle found, Mr. Wright? Interestingly enough, Your Honor, it was found in the kitchen of Très Bien. Eh? Quoi? I don't know if that's how you say it. But I only ever use these bottles for my aromatherapy oils. But this bottle doesn't contain aromatherapy oil, Mr. Armstrong. No, it contains a medication. What kind of medication? I'm sure everyone remembers, don't they? That Mr. Elk visited an otolaryngological, I don't know how to say that, clinic and was given medication that day. You can't be serious. The defense had the contents of the bottle analyzed, and I have the lab results here. The contents of the bottle matched the prescription that was given to Mr. Elk. Poor. Glen Elk's murderer hid the body in the restaurant kitchen, at which time this bottle fell out of the victim's pocket. Mr. Armstrong, when the incident occurred, didn't you say you were in the kitchen? Mon Dieu. Yes, you know what I'm about to say. It was you who hid the victim's body. You did a fine job pretending to defend my client Maggie, Bird. However... Sounds. Oops. You were setting her up to take the fall behind the poor girl's back. Come on! Order! Order! This is an extraordinary development. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glen Elk? Sounds like quoi. Oh, so it's quoi. Quoi. Alright. I think that means like, what does that mean? Why? I'm not sure. Witness, did you murder Mr. Glen Elk? Never. I cannot do such an horrible thing. No. What I think. No. Godot? Mr. Godot? The bitterness. Every time I get lied to, I always down a mug of coffee. That's one of my rules. Do you have the slightest idea how many cups you've had by now? Then I like to do the same to the person who lied to me. I like to take them down with my empty cup. Listen up, chef. How about a brand new flavor in your ear, my H-deficient friend? Bruh. Je vous demande pardon. Please, you must hear me out. It is a trap. Listen to me. Por favor. That's Spanish. Yo hablo español, Mr. Armstrong, and por favor is Spanish. I'm only going to ask you once. Did you do it? None, none, absolutely none. I... Let's hear it. You've got one shot. Right, Gramps? Witness, the court will permit you the chance to make one final statement. If you lie under oath again, Mr. Godot's coffee mug awaits you. As does my gavel. Oui, it is clear. What do they always say in the movies? I've got a bad feeling about this. Bruh. Very well. Begin your final testimony, Mr. Armstrong. The confession. It is true. I hid the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. But I did not kill him. I swear it. You must believe me. You were forced? By who? I cannot say, or I will be erased. Let's try a different question then. When Mr. Elk died, was he really the only person at his table? There was. There was another man. I knew it. Maggie was telling the truth. You may cross-examine the witness now, Mr. Wright. There's just one more thing I need to do. I gotta break this guy and get him to tell us the name of the real killer. It is true, I hid the body in the kitchen. A man forced me to do it. I had no choice. I had to go along with him because there was a reason why I could not refuse. I think we could just force him the reason. You have a $500,000 debt, don't you? $500,000? Is this true, Mr. Armstrong? Oui. Je suis désolé. I was weak, and I borrowed the money. This is Mr. Armstrong's Achilles heel. And that's why you couldn't refuse anything asked of you by this man. Obviously, this guy. A $500,000 loan from a black market loan shark. And you had no way of paying it back, did you? That's why you were forced to do anything this man told you. Oui, it is as you say. Mr. Armstrong. Le Tiger, he told me it was going to use my restaurant for a business rendezvous. On the day in question, he was meeting the victim to demand that he repay his loan. I don't know why it happened like that. I just did what he told me to do. I had no choice. I carried the body and the unconscious Maggie out of the dining area and into the kitchen. After that, I just tried to forget what I had seen. I think we can now safely say that the man who forced her hand was Mr. Furio Tiger. I do have one further question for you, Mr. Armstrong. The poison in the lottery ticket that were found in the defendant's apron pocket, was that your doing as well? No, I knew nothing about that. Making it look like it was Maggie who had done it, I was not. It is despicable. Mr. Godot, you will summon this Furio Tiger as a witness. I doubt that can be arranged today, so we will adjourn for now. Proceedings will continue tomorrow. "30 minutes. What? The trial will go on. I'll see to it myself. I need half an hour to get that guy on the stand. Not a minute more." How the... Don't sit back and relax yet, Wright. No one knows if that chef is really telling the truth or not. This trial could still go either way. Very well. Your request is granted, Mr. Godot. We will resume once Mr. Tiger is ready to take the stand. Until then, court is adjourned for a 30-minute recess. To be continued! Right now, because we're gonna finish this! So we're finally going to see this tiger on the stand. We've almost got this case won now, Nick. I wish I could agree. Huh? When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now, he said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. But Godot picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth. You mean, you think Mr. Armstrong was lying? I don't know, but if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we're gonna need. Hey, pal! Detective Gumshoe! What are you so jumpy about, Detective? Your hair is standing on end! Hey, that's the pot calling the kettle black, little Miss Topknot. It's not a topknot! Never mind about the hair. Just calm down already. I can't stand still when I don't have a job to do. I kinda get wound up. Arg! No kidding. You gotta have something you need me to do, pal. Anything. Well, hey, I'm gonna take a jog back to the precinct. I could get some prints analyzed for you if you got an hour. An hour? The trial will have reconvened by then. But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right? True. Without some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag, we're really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour? You bet. In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me? Probably this, right? Because it doesn't have unidentified fingerprints. If you're going back to the station anyway, could you find out whose prints are on this? Oh hey, that's a small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah, I think it's time we solved the last mystery of who the prints on it belong to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been gnawing at me too. Small bottle given to Detective Gumshoe. Okay, I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. Okay, Detective. This is pretty much the final showdown, I guess. It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys.
The phonies from the real guys.
Court will now reconvene. Mr. Godot, did you find this Furio tiger? I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job, no problem. Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tiger, but come on. He's pretty lively. Be careful, he still bites. Very well. Please show Mr. Tiger to the stand. Here he is. Oh my gosh, look at him. His skin's practically like orange. Don't hide under the table, Maya. Unless there is room for me down there too. What the freak? Hi, would you mind? What'd you say to me? Nothing. I didn't say nothing. Honest. Who could have guessed that fear would induce a bad Brooklyn accent in the judge? I was about to say the Joker. I got business to take care of, you hear me? So who the hell called me into this hole? Was it you, Spiky? No, of course not. It was the judge. Your Honor? Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me, just carry on with the proceedings as normal. That's it. We're doomed. Maybe you didn't hear me. I said who the hell was it that called me in here? There's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What do you say? There's no point struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare, the relentless snare of the law. And I'm the one that hauled you in. Grr. Too cool. Don't let him get the better of you, Nick. Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, mask boy. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird? Maggie who? I've got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. This man's still gone. Phoenix Wright. You was the one who set this up, didn't you? You was gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying? Gulp. Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today. Ugh. Get a grip, Nick. Yeah, for real. A diaper? Come on now. Come on, my boy. I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all my time in my office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from tender lender every single day. You just want to check my alibi? Just ask Violetta. Bruh. Ah, at last I found my pen. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination. Arg! What is it? Please, witness, if you could refrain from shouting out like that. I know the kind of games that guy in the blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins. Lowlife? Me? Listen up, smarty. Every time you ask me something that doesn't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000, and you're gonna borrow the cash from me. That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. And don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you're tangled with the tiger. Ha! I love a good spectator sport. Just a minute. That's really not... This witness is... How can I put it? Hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too. Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. You'd better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus. The court will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You can do it, Nick. Come out from under there already, would you, Maya? Bruh, she's still hiding. The tiger's alibi. I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all of my time in my office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from tender lender every single day. You just want to check my alibi? Just ask Violetta. Okay. Just think, all you have to do is press him on something irrelevant and bam! $50,000. Get real, Maya. How about you pay back the money then? Your allowance should cover it. Hey, I'm no idiot. You know. Well, I'm certainly not the one who thought the $50,000 was free money. Anyway, I need to work with this guy without pressing his testimony too hard. But his testimony is pretty solid as it is. I admit nothing jumps out at me as a contradiction, but I've got to find an opening somewhere, or I need to make one. Okay, let's press him here. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all my time in my office. Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know. You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is. Sharp? Is he talking about Viola Cadaverini? She writes everything in my scheduler. December, mainly in the office. That's what it says. So that's where I was. That seems like a rather sketchy schedule. Grr. There he goes again. What the tiger did all December isn't the issue. What's important is what he was doing on the day of the murder. So now what? Do I press harder here? Screw it. Mr. Tiger, what do you want? If you wouldn't mind just going into a bit more detail. This is a dead end, right? And you know it. Remember the rules. No! It's essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately. I agree. That's all he says. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too? Maybe yous ain't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I ain't never seen that young kid before. I do believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Godot, if you could please. Mr. Tiger, the court asks you to add that last statement to your testimony. Don't let an animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself. For real. I never saw that kid before. Okay. The day you was talking about, I was in office too. I never saw that kid before. Okay, then why does he have this? December 3rd, the day of the incident, there was a note meet with the tiger. Yep. Mr. Tiger, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glenn Elk, but it appears that Mr. Elk knew you. What? Mr. Elk left this little note on his calendar. Meet with the tiger. And the date? December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder. So, Mr. Tiger, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenn Elk. Because on the very day of the incident, you met with him. Ah, ha 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 ha. Not bad. You's actually not bad. Sorry? I was just messing with you to see how good you were. Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad. That's one compliment I can do without. Plus, he's lying through his teeth. Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated. You's calling me a liar? Is that what you're doing? Ruh-roh. The judge is basically Scooby-Doo. So you're saying that your claim to have never seen that kid before is the truth? I said I'm dead serious. You's better believe that's the truth. Ha! Then I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure black magic. That is, while you testify for the court again, Mr. Tiger. Oh, yes. Would you mind indulging the court witness? He never actually met the victim? That's got to be a lie right there. It's time I nailed this guy. I ain't no liar. I never met Glenn Elk. There was some lame guy with that name, though, wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy at my office, tender lender. I waited around for him, but he ain't never showed. I ain't never ever been to that Tres Bien joint, you see her? Okay, now that is a cap. I see. That all seems perfectly logical. You had arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show up. I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Very well. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you, right? Grr. I already know the contradiction, though. Okay. So he said he's never been to... I ain't never ever been to that Tres Bien joint. You's here? But unfortunately, we found this. Matches used for advertising found lying in tender lender. Tres Bien matches. Mr. Tiger, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches? Matches? What you's talking about? We found them in your office at Tender Lender. They're from that restaurant. What? If you've really never been to Tres Bien before, what was a book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk? You've been snooping around in my in my stuff now too, wise guy? What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no broad controlling me. Order! Order! Well, witness? Caught. I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? Sorry, I'm terribly sorry. Forgive me. I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at the joint that day. What? But listen good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid. Well, well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony. I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glen Oak that day, and he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. I was supposed to meet with that kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cop's siren on my way out, and I went straight back to my office. I see. You didn't actually meet with him in the end, then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Hold it! If I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions. Ha! No problem. Anytime Trite presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty. Mr. Godot, that's my job. Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it. Yes, sir. The special express ain't cheap, right? Just so you know since you's paying. Oh man, doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? For real. What is this? This trial is a sham. I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. Okay. When I opened the door of the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. I figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. I heard the cop's sirens on my way out, and I went straight back to my office. Well, Nick, what do you think? He's running out of ways to avoid the truth. I need to press him fast before he has time to think things through. I've got to come right back at him with a contradiction. But careful what you press him on, though, you'll get penalized. Okay. I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door, I saw one ugly scene. Let's press him here. An ugly scene? What do you mean? Bro. The witness has already told us, Trite, which makes that question irrelevant. But don't tell me it's a penalty. I limit myself to 17 cups of coffee during a trial. That's the rule. You better limit the number of times you take a penalty, Trite. Or your guts will look like the inside of a chimney. Ashen. Don't make me burn you again. Bro. This ugly scene you saw was... Okay, press him here, maybe? You mean you saw Glen Oak's dead body? I guess I did, but I only saw him from behind. He was wearing some raggy bit of cloth he called a hat. And what time was this? I don't know. Huh? You know what winds me up more than anything else in the world? Watches! Round watches! I ain't gonna pollute my paws with some ticking henpecker. Out of interest, Mr. Tiger, what winds you up the second most? Huh? What do you think? Square watches! Is this guy for real? Look, all I need to know was that something bad was going down in that place. Okay, this is a contradiction. So, okay. He said, when I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. But... this is the door right here. If he opens the door, there's a partition right here. We wouldn't have been able to see the scene unless he had walked right here. So I think that's a lie. You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tiger? No one escapes the tiger's clutches. Well, I'm something of a lie detecting pro. And no one escapes the phoenix's clutches. I think it's time we got something straight. What's this, Trite? A new line of irrelevant questioning? These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tiger. From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this. Indeed, the witness would have a clear view of the victim's seat. Isn't that what I just said? I saw the back of the kid's head. Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. And if the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a partition, right there. There's a tall partition. Why, that's true. Now look at the plans again. The truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. Right there. Yep, you wouldn't have been able to see the victim. Look at him sweating. So from the entrance of Très Bien, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day, because you met with him. Wrong. Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table. But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim witnessed by Mr. Kudo was not Glen Elg, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade. That will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? You say the killer murdered Glen Elg, and then impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo? In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court. There's only one person, and we all know who it is. Sorry. Obviously, the killer is Fio Tiger. No one else could have done it. What? Well, witness? Now that's cute. You think you could pin this on the tiger? Maybe you don't understand. The tiger is a king of the jungle. So I dare you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts? You can't threaten me, Mr. Tiger. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Bro. Mr. Wright? Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. You've got guts, you've got guts, I'll give you that. Mr. Wright, do not leave me to handle this alone. Huh. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Godot. Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't see just the victim. Oh, no, no, no. The servant girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. There's no question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in there. Was the victim you saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The fact remains he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee. Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned... Bro. Very impressive, Mr. Godot. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Ha. Found your pen at last, Trite. It was in my pocket. Bruh. Ahem. But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glen Elg, and the waitress from behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright? I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glen Elg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show. What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well? The defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. Who on earth was it? Who was this waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed? Okay, the one, it was her, Viola. Because she helped Furio Tiger. Who is this woman? Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tender Lender. You're making a big mistake. Do you know who Violetta's grandfather is? You better be going home. You better be going home in an armored truck tonight if you know what I mean. Stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, has stated the following. Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy, and she had a kind of cackling laugh. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice. Once for real and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tiger, the only person who could have committed the crime, is you. Witness? What have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry? You's alright. I could do with a guy like you around. Well, what do you mean? Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give you one more thing to think about before I go. Something to think about? You've got it all wrapped up nice, huh, Wright? But you've missed out one real important thing. But that can't be. I was in the joint that day, and I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him. You hear? What? Did you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tiger? Ha! What a troublemaker. Troublemaker? Looks like we're going to need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony. Indeed. Witness, you will explain yourself to the court. I will give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Très Bien between yourself and the victim? Bro, this guy's just lying, man. Yeah, I loaned El Cash about $100,000. That day we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. He got lucky, you know, real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over. No, I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Elg was $50,000. Yeah, well, you've got the VIG to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know. That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice his principal. And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So I ain't have no reason to kill the kid. And if I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case. His motive? He has to have one. But what was it? Yeah, I loaned El Cash about $100,000. That day he was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's gonna wait to pay up. I ain't about to flatten this guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won $500,000. If the waitress hadn't done what she'd done, everything would have been over. Okay. But there's this. A $1 million bill for cranial surgery. And he had to pay that back. we just present this? Nope. I think we have to press it first. Yes, yes, objection denied. I know, I know. The waitress. You mean the girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair? Who else could I mean? If she hadn't gotten in the way, things would have been bada bing bada boom, over and done with. Maybe I should push a little on this? Ask about what Maggie did. Ask how things would have been. Ask how things would have been. What do you mean things would have been over and done with? Are you all there or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my 100,000 bucks back. That's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way. As far as I could tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tiger had no motive for killing the victim. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect what you just said. The Tiger's motive, huh? I was after the $100,000 and have another... Okay. Now I think we present it. Because this testimony is much more better. Much more contradictory. So you just intend to get back the $100,000, Mr. Algoju, correct? I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Elk, $100,000 wasn't enough to cover it, was it? Huh? About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter, in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery. Where did you get all this info? These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman. These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. Payment for these expenses was due in December of last year and was paid in full. $1 million? A preposterous sum. Someone should sue those HMOs. Huh. No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. But Mr. Tiger had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Yep. Order! 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 You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright? Indeed it did. Simply because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini. Did you say Cadaverini? Rudo Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all the underworld activities in the city and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Poor! Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire the $1 million Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glen Elg's life to pay your debt. Order! 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 What do you say to that, witness? Grr. It's a nice little fairy tale, Trite, but even if the witness did need $1 million, that doesn't tie him to Mr. Elg's murder. Mr. Elg only owed him $100,000 and had no hope of repaying it anyway. Yeah, that guy wasn't worth my spit. I don't think so. In fact, the opposite is true. The opposite? Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business, but in this case, the very fact that Glen Elg had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Do you know where you're going with this, Nick? You've got to think outside the box, Maya. Outside the box? It's very straightforward. Mr. Tiger wasn't after the $100,000 at all. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? What exactly was Mr. Tiger after? I don't think it was after the lottery ticket, because that's only $500,000. It was after this, the computer virus. That's why Glen Elg brought it. It was potentially worth millions of dollars. Glen Elg was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elk put up in order to borrow the money. Care to explain how skill can be used as collateral to secure a loan, Trite? He had the skill to create a computer virus, and so he did. A virus known as MC Bomber. A computer virus? What does one of those do? A computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. A computer? What does one of those do? I guess the beard isn't the only part of his honor that is from the Stone Age, bruh. I'll explain it to you later, Your Honor. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market. Mr. Tiger, you couldn't have cared less about the $100,000, isn't that right? All you cared about was one thing, the virus. That's my best impression of him saying Guar. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tiger's sole intention was to get his hands on the CD. Glenn Elk had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tiger knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tiger would have preferred to say never happened. But he can't, and neither can I. The lottery win? Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elk won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tiger with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least, no legitimate way. Look at that hand. So he resorted to illegitimate means. That's crazy! He murdered Glenn Elk and then made his next move, to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tiger posed as Glenn Elk, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo. Like I said, Trite, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept in the dark about it. But Mr. Armstrong was in on it from the very beginning. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too, $500,000 in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tiger's plan. Oh. This guy's guilty, man. Ha 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 ha. You's put on a good show, Spiky. If yous want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like that kid, created a witness, and framed someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. I agree. You do? Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out. What? Another one, Mr. Wright? Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trite? What was this trick you say Mr. Tiger performed to frame the accused? I don't know. The weenies? Oh yeah, this. He posed as me. He became the defendant, or the defense lawyer. What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tiger, you didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago in this very court, you posed as me. What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing in here in this very court a mere month ago. The Phoenix Wright who put up the most distributable, shabby defense I had ever seen. Grrr. Grrr. That's why in the beginning it said there was a phony Phoenix. Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man. Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him? Gulp. Hey, forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that. Not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh? Look at him, bro. Have you no pride, sir? This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Trite, here in court, we deal with people's lives. Mr. Godot is right. Your Honor? Speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by a memory without evidence to support it. No! If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. The circumstances surrounding Mr. Tiger are dubious for sure, but not conclusive. But we've come so far! You say he impersonated Glen Elk. You say he impersonated you. But none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. No! Ha! Sucks to be you, right? Don't mess with the tiger or you're gonna get mauled. You's got that? All we managed to do here was chase him around a bit. But I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Ha! Looks like I won't be needing a refill. If I just had one more piece of evidence. One more piece of evidence, and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. This witness's cross-examination is over. You are free to go, Mr. Tiger. Hold it! Your Honor, sir. Wait! Gumshoe! Detective! Detective Gumshoe! Sorry it took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge, the works. So here it is. My heart's counting on this too. What is it, Detective? Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence. What? Bro. Why is it a recess? Sorry it took so long, pal, but I finally got the results from the lab. The results? About the prints, pal. From this medicine bottle. Oh? So, do you know who the prints belong to now? Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know. So, tell us. They're the tigers, right? I knew it. You bet. Clear as crystal, all over the bottle. They're Furio Tiger's paw prints, all right. That's great. We've got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick. I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now. Huh? What? Why not? What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glen Elk's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now. I knew it. Great. No matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. This was our last chance to help Maggie. I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright. I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. Detective Gumshoe? Maggie? You've been working on something for me? Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. And I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I'll get out of your hair now. Detective Gumshoe! Wait! He's gone. Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick? I wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. Covered in Ferio Tiger's fingerprints. Well, let's see what happens with this piece of evidence. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor? I granted you a recess so you could prepare this decisive evidence you've discovered. Yes. Don't keep us all in suspense, Wright. Show us. Naturally, we can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we? Think, Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. How much more of my time are you gonna waste? I ain't been to no court before, but you lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion. No doubt given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here, but maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final, decisive piece of evidence to the courtroom. Bro. I guess we present this, right? There's nothing else to present. This is the defendant's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victim's... Your Honor? Naturally, the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. Tiger. What? But, Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone in here knows what this bottle contains, except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark. My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle? Is that what you're saying? Well, what the hell is in it anyway? A phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been a phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. Tiger, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Why? Because it contains... Mr. Armstrong's oils. Bruh. I think we lie here. Because it's supposed to be quote-unquote phony. I think. Because if we lie and say it's potassium cyanide. Because really, this bottle contains... This bottle contains ear medicine. But if we say it's potassium cyanide, and the tiger says, no, it's actually the ear medicine, then I think we caught him in a lie because he shouldn't know that. This bottle contains potassium cyanide. But potassium cyanide? The poison used to murder Mr. Elg, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. Tiger, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? Ha 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 ha! You'd make a good clown, you know that. What? Yous ain't never gonna get this to stick. You's just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger? A bluff? I can see straight through you, Phoenix, Wright? That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it. No, no, this is the bottle we found traces of the poison in. Don't mess with the tiger, or you're gonna get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown, and it was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it. See, he shouldn't have known that, but he just admitted it. Got him, at last. What? Why is everyone gone quiet? I said that bottle. Is this the bottle you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. But you ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy looking suit fool you people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Mr. Prosecutor. Tell that guy where to go. You still haven't figured it out? Don't you realize what you just said? What I said? What did I just say? You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. Yous don't know who yous messing with. I'm the tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. You think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me? Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. The phony trial with a phony lawyer. It was all played out by you, the biggest phony of all. Bro. The lights went out. What's going on? It looks like a blackout. Oh, that's cool. The lights on his mask. Well done, Trite. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Savor it. While you watch the police restrain your prey. Bruh. Mr. Wright, you caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Now then, he really just said that. Now then, how are things going with Mr. Tiger, Mr. Godot? He's being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glen Elg, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was. And in the absence of a genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Frio Tiger is a truly frightening criminal. Ha! The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there. Godot. Well, I am now in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird, not guilty! That is all. This court is adjourned. Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago, but now I feel like I can forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger. Look, Nick, in the doorway. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around, pal. Wait! Detective Gumshoe. Oh yeah. Congratulations, Maggie. Thanks. I knew you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in your testimony then? Huh? Oh, well, I was. Well, I guess I'll be off then. See you. Wait up, detective! He just ran off. Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle. That wasn't even any use. But it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick? Yeah, Maya is right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie. You know Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all of this. I wanted to believe that, sir. But on that first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up. He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He has to report the facts. He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it. I've got to prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. The frickin' weenies! Gumshoe's lunchbox. Here you are, a present to celebrate your freedom. That's a present for Detective Gumshoe, made with a ton of love. He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe. I actually really like weenies, you know? Oh my gosh, what was that? Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know? Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? Is it okay if I eat this? Now? Bruh. So, how is it, Maggie? It's really good. So the case of phony versus genuine comes to an end. The false allegations surrounding Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows, maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. Okay, well, I'm not gonna do the fourth case, the fourth episode, even though it is shorter than this one. I'll do that for another time. But as you can see, Miles Edgeworth, he's part of it. Look at that boy. Anyways, Brendan's episode. We'll go over the. We'll show the intro because the intro is pretty cool. It's called Turnabout Beginnings. It goes back in time again, just like the first case where you play as Mia. The girl, let her go. Shut up. Come closer, and I kill her. Sorry, but you're not going to get the chance. Bang. This is my wallpaper for my laptop, by the way. I'm reading through the file of an old court case. It was the first case of my longtime mentor, Mia Fey. Fugitive data. Look at this computer. Name, Terry Falls. Charge, kidnapping, murder. Sentencing, death penalty. Fugitive movements. After escaping Falls, met with and then murdered Sergeant Valerie Hawthorne. Recaptured on Eagle Mountain about 8 hours after his escape. Her very first client was a death row inmate who had recently broken out of prison. That was a whole year before me and I ever met. 6 years earlier. Mia Fey, first trial. Alright, this is where I'm gonna save it. Just a little taste of what's coming up next. This trial is also a banger. And it leads up into the last case really well. Because, ooh boy, the last case is a doozy. Excuse me. I just burped. Okay, I'm gonna save it here. Alright, well, that'll be it from me. As always, thank you for watching my streams. And, yeah, GG's. Till next time. I will now end the stream. Goodbye.